high society, sordid crimes, and the consequences of them. The latest release of millions of files is helping us build the fullest picture of Jeffrey Epstein's wretched life. Among them are these new images of Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, always denied any allegations against him. But these files aren't just about lurid photos or ill-advised friendships. They document in precise detail exactly what Epstein did. One document here shows a list of some of the witnesses. It looks dry and methodical until you see the ages, 17 years old, for all these victims at high school. These were school children, and they were abused hundreds of times.
There is further fallout from the Epstein files. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer says the disgraced former Prince Andrew Mountbatten Windsor should testify before the US.
3 million pages, 2,000 videos, and 180,000 pictures, mentioning people such as the US President, the then Prince Andrew, and Elon Musk. These are just a sample of what the enormous amount of new documents released by the Justice Department contain.
We did not protect President Trump. We didn't protect or not protect anybody.
The latest Epstein files were made public after they were withheld from an initial release in December.
Chicks, I'm one of your hosts, Michelle. It's Sunday, which means we're going to go all around the world with this week's international world news. Epstein. Step right up. Y'all ain't ready. Or you are, actually. We're so ready. I'm so actually over this. I'm so glad that the things that we've already known are coming to light. And we're going to get into it and the whole 9 yards. And there are some things in here, I think, that will actually surprise some people. Maybe not you. But I think that some of it will be a little bit like, oh, wow, I didn't see that one coming. I love Leah's title here. Epstein's vast international web of perversion. And the question has to be asked. And Leah said this to me prior to today's show. She's like, why? Why did Epstein have so many international connections? We're not just talking about the people that were part of his, sex ring and using his quote unquote services. We're not just talking about that. He had literal connections. And to what end? For what purpose? Is it just to control the world? I don't think he's that big. Yes, he is a criminal mastermind, but I don't know. I think there's something deeper there. So we're going to get into all of that today and more. And we do have, like Leah has been trying, and I have some of my own, actually. We should just start with mine because mine are like the best. Commercial breaks. We're trying to bring a little bit more levity, you know what I'm saying, to the show, a little bit more lightness, because when you're talking about international sex rings, okay, Pumpkin, you have to lighten the mood a little or you'll just cry. So we're going to get into even some fun commercial breaks, which usually just consist of fun animal videos. That's what I have. That's mostly what I have is fun, because why not? Like sometimes I stop and consider my life choices. I could forget saving the world, forget telling the truth on every moss-covered rock that's got, not even buried treasure, but buried secrets underneath. Like, forget turning all that over. Forget telling you guys all the deepest, the most awful, diabolical things that the world has to offer. Forget that. Just throw it away. Why can't I just be the podcaster that shares funny animal videos? Life choices, right? So If anybody ever comes at Leah and I, and you don't, because you've been here long enough, you know, we've been doing this for 9 years. If anyone were to ever try to think that Leah and I did this for clicks or views or money or fame, which we get very little of any of those things. But we put in literally a full-time, this is a full-time job for us. I mean, it's 40 hours a week at least of time and effort into this. If we were just doing it for clicks and fame and money, we would be doing something else. We would be doing animal videos. We would focus like way more on our homestead. We would be doing all, but you know, God said, Leah and Michelle, I need you to expose international webs of perversion. And so here we are, right? So fun. Greatest show on the internet. And Leah looks so nice. As I like to remind everybody, the most professional news program you will ever find from the beginning of time till the end of all time. In, you know, like the high school yearbook of podcasters, you're going to open up, you're going to see Resistance Chicks. And underneath of it, it is going to say the most professional news broadcast that ever aired.
On the whole world, yeah.
In the whole world. All right. So, not news related, but news to our life. We did a fun little video yesterday. We went hiking because Leah.
That was so fun.
Is loca. She's loco. What language is that crazy in? Is that Spanish? She's just Spanish?
Yeah.
She's loco. She comes to me and she's like, I'm going to the nature center. So here's the deal. Hiking is Leah's top of the list in life. It's so up there. Okay. It's, you know where it is for me? Like out of like a 1 out of a 10. Leah, it's a 10. Okay. For me, I'm like a 2 on the hiking thing.
Is it really that bad?
It's not bad. No, I'm not saying that's okay. So negative would be like a negative.
Okay.
Let's say 1 through 10 are like, love to do this thing. 0 is I like it. Okay. 10 is I love it. Right. So that's where it is on that. I'm not in the negative of I don't like it, but it's not like, yeah. Okay. So, but for Leah, it's there. So 15 degrees. No snow has melted. This snow, have you ever tried to walk on the beach? Like it's supposed to be this romantic thing. It's not, it's just annoying. Like if you can get it where you're walking where the water has just come and it's kind of packed down, walking on the beach is fun. You know what I'm saying? It's nice because I love the beach and I love the beauty of the beach and it's very grounding, love it. But the actual walking part, if you start focusing, like if you're walking like down to the beach, those first 300 feet to just get down there, it's miserable. Why? Because your feet are like sinking in that sand. That was our whole hike of snow.
It's a really
because
good
it was
workout.
so cold and it's been so cold since the snowpocalypse that we had here in southwestern Ohio that and nothing is melted. It will not pack down. Like it won't compact. So no matter how many people have hiked on these trails, and you would think, and Leah thought twice we've gone, like fool me once. If we go another time, you better not think that it's going to be packed down because it is literally not. People are walking all over it, and it's just like walking on the beach in
It's
sand.
like-
The snow's just kind of like moving a little.
It's like walking uphill from sledding down the hill.
No, it's not, because when the snow actually is heavy, you know what I mean? You can get your foot grip, and then you kind of create these like plates that you're walking in. It's just sand. It's like walking uphill in sand.
It took a little longer than I expected.
I came home after 15 degrees. Hypothermia started to set in, not because I was cold during the hike, because I wasn't, but because I had sweat so much that then that sweat started to turn cold when I wasn't hiking anymore. I came home, I was soaking wet.
She thanked me later for the great workout. It was a fun workout. It was outside. I love outside.
So
in
it
the
was
cold.
beautiful. It was beautiful.
We had the hill, like giant hills, and it was like hill after snow after snow after snow. And so we made a little video if you guys want to watch it. It's gorgeous.
All of that to say that, but except for the gorgeous part is brief. Most of it is watching Leah clear steps. I watched the whole thing last night. It's kind of a little like you're watching it. You're like, Leah, steady the camera.
I needed a GoPro, but then we crossed a little creek river thing.
And you got your boot stuck in the water. So now you've heard all about it. Okay, so that's our news. That's it. That's all we've got. Now and I told them, Jeffrey Epstein is going to be a good portion of the show, but we have lots of commercial breaks because not only do I know you have commercial breaks,
You have some.
I brought my own.
Yeah, I had a whole different show for today, honestly. And then somebody posted that the Princess of Norway, the Princess of Norway, she's in the Epstein files.
Oh, what just happened?
And there are so many people. I began to question, like, what is going on here? I don't have that many friends.
So
Every person that emails Jeffrey Epstein feels we're gonna create a storyline here for you guys tonight.
This afternoon.
That I think is going to help make sense of a lot of this stuff.
Okay.
And it goes with healing for the fractured soul.
Oh.
I'm just going to give you the punchline.
No.
Jeffrey Epstein is a psychopath.
100%.
And his psychopathic trait is he has what I believe he has was malignant. He's a malignant empath. He was a malignant empath.
Did you just make that up?
No, we've talked about it on our show.
I know.
There's an empath, and then a malignant empaths are able to feel your feelings. Now, most people think that empathic people are compassionate. A malignant empath will feel what you're feeling, will understand who you are at a depth that you don't understand yourself, and then use that against you.
Scott Kesterson.
Okay? So Jeffrey Epstein and his jovial personality...
Yeah.
He was sent by some organization. Now, remember, he's connected to a lot of high-profile people. He was the financier for the guy who ran Abercrombie and Finch, and what else did he run? Put the name in the chat. He's in Ohio. He's got the largest estate in Ohio. And Jeffrey Epstein has the second largest estate in Ohio.
Wasn't it the limited guy?
The limited Abercrombie guy, yeah. So there's that guy. And then there's Ehud Barak, who was the former prime minister of Israel.
Right.
And Ehud Barak's assistant stayed often at Jeffrey Epstein's estate. And we're supposed to believe that Jeffrey is not working for Mossad and Israel and the Israeli government at large.
Never happened.
We're also supposed to believe that he just happens to keep this girlfriend around, Ghislaine Maxwell, whose dad was given a state funeral in 1991 when he
Israeli state
was probably offed by the very people that, gave him, props and gave him this wonderful state funeral. I'm going to just tell you for 100% fact, this is a fact. Nobody's saying it out loud. Like some people are, but like the mainstream media is just kind of tiptoeing around it. Jeffrey Epstein worked for the Israeli government at times, but not like probably the official, like just like here in the United States. They have different factions as well.
Sure. Jeffrey
Epstein's Jewish, man. He's Jewish. He has the Israeli defense uniforms sitting in the closet where they give people extra clothes for when they come and do the shenanigans. I'm going to play a video a little bit with Mike Benz. Hopefully I'm not going to play like long videos for you guys, but you need to understand.
Les Wexner. Thank you, Sherry.
You guys are awesome. Lex Luthor, what we're going to call him. I shouldn't remember that. Lex Luthor. Right. Okay. And Jeffrey Epstein is very much like Lex Luthor. Like he just very much is. And Superman there. So in this international strategy, web of perversion, Jeffrey Epstein, I don't believe he was necessary. Like part of it was to get these guys in compromising positions.
Sure.
So then they would need to cover for Epstein. And he had to get into every different government that he could. Like, why is he trying to get into the government of Norway? And he's a psychopath.
He's literally like Andrew Tate, but smarter.
But here's a lot smarter. And he had other people to lend him guidance on what they wanted him to do. So then he's a profiler.
Mm-hmm.
He'll profile men and women. And every single one of these people, when you read these emails, they're laughing. They're joking. He's funny. Even Fergie, who is, with Prince Andrew, email came out where she said, just marry me already.
Stop it. No.
So this guy is a psycho. So I'm not going to give these people a pass.
Wow.
Okay. But these men and women fell in love with Epstein and believed he was their bestie.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
This is the psychopathic traits. How does this princess of Norway, she was a single mom.
Yeah.
She had a 4-year-old son. She married the Prince of Norway.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, her son is on trial this week for 28 felonies,
Dear God.
including rape.
No.
She has to now, in addition to that, navigate emails in which she's flirting back and forth with Jeffrey Epstein.
I'm not laughing at these. I am. No, I totally am. I'm laughing at these
I
people.
didn't even know there was a princess of Norway. Okay,
Well, we know we did. We were it.
yeah, exactly. I got my crown and everything. It's, can't you tell? It's made of gold.
Oh my God.
Solid gold. It's pretty heavy.
Plastic.
So this princess of Norway, the whole Norwegian government now has to pull a royal family thing that the UK has had to do with Prince Andrew's. Like, she's not really married to the prince, and she's not really part of the, like, she is married. That's not what I meant. Like, she's not really part of the royal family. And with the son that's been adopted in, well, he's not really a royal. Like, yeah, he's not really part of us. Like, he's been raised, he's in his 20s. He was raised since he was 4 as a Norwegian prince, but he's not really.
So here's
not
the thing.
really. It's like, they're all like this. I'm not here. Are you here? Oh my gosh, we're here. Oh my gosh, are you still here? Oh my gosh, Epstein. And they're all so embarrassed. She even says the only thing she can say right now, it's Merit.
That's her name.
Yeah, that's the princess chick. All she can say is, and honestly, she's more embarrassed about this Epstein thing than the fact that her son is facing 28 counts felonies. But nobody is, the royal family will not be in the courtroom with this kid. They have they're cutting him off.
We're done with you.
More has come out with Prince Andrew.
Yeah, I know.
And it's gross.
Yeah.
And I am going to do my best
to make it family friendly.
Because the things that I've read, I will tell you this.
Did you vomit in your mouth?
No, I cried.
Oh.
I cried. I said, God, this stuff can't be real. This is an international web of perversion.
Yeah.
And and so Jeffrey Epstein literally would reach into your inner pervert and then give you an excuse to let it out.
No.
Obviously. He's got the Slovakian security minister that just had to resign.
Yeah.
There's a lot of countries. How does he keep track of who he's trying to be buddies with? And Slovakia's on your list.
Sure. Any country is up for grabs.
The guy who's putting together the Olympics in LA has now had to be is now having to come out. And he's embarrassed of his relationship with Ghislaine.
You're kidding.
These people they're not attractive people. Let's just, they're not.
So the Merit girl, though, like,
she's beautiful.
She's drop dead gorgeous.
So this is what psychopaths do. Fergie has a high opinion of herself. As she got older, she aged.
Yeah, but she was pretty.
Okay, but she had a higher opinion of herself.
Okay.
Than merited and warranted. Okay. But a psychopath will play on a narcissist's.
Sure.
I am beautiful.
I am so
amazing.
Beautiful.
I'm gonna just throw out there my own best AI conversation between Fergie and Epstein. Yeah. You are so amazing to Fergie. You can do anything. You're really up there. Because she in some of the emails she's like I can organize you a state visit and I can get you anywhere. So what they do is they trap you in your own narcissism.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? In your strengths that you feel you're strong in.
Yeah.
This is the way Epstein worked. He trapped people by praise.
Yeah.
On the things that he could tell empathically that you felt you were strong and confident in.
Yeah.
Because if you feel like you're confident in the relationship, then you are going to give him access.
Well, and what's more, I
I'm
guess,
in control here is what they felt.
Because I've lived this, right?
Yeah.
It's not just so that you feel confident, it's so that you feel like you are in control of the relationship.
And they all did. The emails are all
like, I'm the one, you are coming to me because I am great, because I have something because I'm above you, right? So I'm superior to you.
Yeah.
Scott never appealed to my looks. He always appealed to my spirituality.
exactly because
Right?
he
Because he knew
empathically
that
could
that
tell
was my strength.
where
like,
you felt strong
was
in.
drawing on that, like, oh, Michelle, you know all this stuff. Da, 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 da. That was always the appeal.
So in these circles, you have to wonder, and I do wonder this is still a mystery. Why did he target these certain people?
Sure.
But they were very much targets. And you'll see with Richard Branson, who is a great big pervert.
Right.
I'm not going to show you, and maybe you guys have seen the logo of his original airline. He's an airline. He's got Virgin everything.
Yeah,
Virgin
he's
Mobile,
yeah,
Virgin.
yeah.
So it's supposed to be the Gemini twins, but it's two naked, like 11-year-old girls
Well,
together.
and I don't think it's always that word virgin.
Yeah.
I think it's a great word in actuality. I
Yeah,
love
like
the
virgin
word.
olive oil.
Well, just
That's the
well,
way
I just
I
mean in general. Like I think your virtue, your virginity, I think it's a good thing. Every time I have seen any of his stuff, that word virgin just feels weird to me.
And it's written in blood.
Is that what it is?
It's red. It's blood. It's like, and it's got like a splat to it.
It does have a splash.
It's not like black ink splats. It's
a
like blood.
splash.
Virgin blood. It's like weird.
That guy's a sicko.
So his email came out and they're trying to cover for it. A lot of these things can't be proven as
Sure.
in what did you do wrong with him, right? He says, I'm going to meet you here and I'll set it up. Make sure you bring your harem.
Yeah, so I put that on our. Did you see my thumbnail today?
I want to
Such a
see it,
great
actually. I really want to see your.
Look at how cool I did it.
Wow, you did it way better than me.
Yeah.
That's great.
I know.
Good job.
What I mean is thanks.
No, that's really great.
Okay.
So in this web that Jeffrey Epstein was not, you can't create a web like this on your own, and you wouldn't. What do you need? What do you need with the Princess of Norway? What do you need with?
Sure.
But if you're a government, you need to make inroads everywhere. And so these guys were brought everywhere. That's why every single elite person has a connection to him.
And if you could understand, if you could see the way that the world, like all of these upper echelon people, they view, whether it's Hollywood, whether it's governments, they like the hats, whatever it is, every person is a potential asset that you could acquire, right? And I saw Scott do this all the time. Whether I need you now or not, I'm going to acquire you and hold you in my back pocket for a time when I do need you.
So imagine the international stage is like mega.
Exactly.
And they all go and meet at the same places.
Yeah.
And they're all like, that's why we're, not in that world. You have to, the people, then you feel cool for knowing the people. And then, Michelle and I are all about ministering to people. These guys are all about extracting resources. Every single one of these people is about extracting resources. So you have Howard Lutnick, who is Trump's finance guy right now. And we played a clip of him, and he rubbed me the wrong way. And I got to say, I am like batting 10 for 10 on these creeps. I thank you myself. Okay. Thank you, Jesus, for giving me that kind of. So everybody was like, wow, Howard Lutnick is at the World Economic Forum in Davos, and he's giving this great speech for the underdog guy.
Yeah.
Like, that guy rubs me the wrong way. I don't like him. So we have a video of him talking about like how he went to Epstein's house and he would never go back because it was really creepy. And he saw the massage table. And he's like, dude, how many times do you get a massage? He's like, every day. And he's really being descriptive. This is what sociopaths do and psychopaths too. When I was listening to the guy, the fun guy that I like to watch who does the breakdown of psychopaths. I think I was watching somebody else. We've played it on our show. They will give you 2 many details and tell you and spin you a story.
Sure.
When they're trying to hide something else.
Sure.
So he gives this an amazing, elaborate
Right.
story of this time that he's in Epstein's house. And he's like, and Epstein leaned in really close and my wife was right there. And he's like, every day. Okay. So you give these huge, big details, right?
Freaking me out.
I know, right?
I feel like it's a
But
ghost
then
story.
he said after that, he's like, I never saw him again. After that, he and his wife and 4 kids had planned a trip, according to these emails, to Epstein's Island.
Hang on, wait, what you doing with your 4 kids going there? What is this, like Disney World?
So these people, listen, I'm not saying that every person that was brought into Epstein's circle was like a victim. Because he's not going to bring in innocent people. In order for you to even get close to Epstein,
You got to already be down a couple
he
notches.
has to. Listen. He already has you measured up.
Yeah.
He's not targeting good people. He's targeting the corrupt. He scans the room and he like has
or corruptible.
Let me explain to you how this psycho worked. He scanned the room. He had a list of targets. Okay. He approached each target. He gauged each target. He could tell instantly, as you and I as Christians can tell almost instantly, the spirit of the person.
Come on.
Okay. I can usually tell whether somebody's safe, honest, somebody I can be around almost instantly.
Could you imagine trying to assess people for the opposite of what the rest of us do?
He is
Like, so when you get that creep factor and you're like, I don't want to have anything to do with that person, like
he's
that's like the opposite.
Yeah. So when he feels the creep factor, okay, that's the person I'm going to target.
But I want to expound on that just a little bit and maybe not so much pushback, but there is a little bit of something where it's not so much the creep factor. And I said this about Mike Bickle. These men, they love to like a lot. They're like, oh, women were just throwing themselves at me. No, they weren't, because you're still in it for the thrill.
No.
So there's a bit so I like the word more, not the corrupted, but the corruptible. The people that have this underlying, it's not on the surface. It's not the surface creep factor that he's feeling. He's feeling this underlying, I'm good on the outside. I've never been able to express my inner disgusting.
That's what it is.
I am moldable to your
He wants you
perverted clay.
What he does for what he
Because it's a
offers,
thrill for him.
what he offers people, that's the thrill. He offers you the thrill of unleashing your inner suppressed sin.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
He's like he's looking for those people who on the surface, I want to break free.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to be a good person.
Sure.
Or I'm forced to be like Prince Andrews.
yeah,
I've grown up. I had to do the right thing. I don't want to do the right thing. I'd rather be a pervert. Okay. And some are obviously more perverts than others.
Right. Well, and I think that that's honestly one of the reasons why like a Donald Trump never was get atable by Epstein as much as these other people. You know what I mean? Because Trump already had so like freedom to do whatever he wants. Trump never felt restricted. He didn't need anybody to unleash his inner pervert. He just unleashed whatever he wanted to unleash.
Do you have my links up?
No, I don't have
Okay,
any.
so Michelle gets the links up. We're going to start with some of these characters. They're characters now in a story. I literally had no idea who the Princess of Norway was, but now I do. I had no idea who the Slovakian National Security Advisor was. So I'll start with him. So the Slovakian National Security Advisor resigns over Epstein files, but he denies any wrongdoing. And you know what's amazing is Epstein purposefully poses in pictures with all of the people.
Sure.
That it's like,
It's not a
for
coincidence
me-
that all these pictures exist.
for me, what I'm looking at is these are pictures that get put in a file. And that's why there's an Epstein file.
Sure.
Because I got this guy, this is what this guy looks like. He's not going to remember all of you, but you're going to remember him.
Yeah.
Right? So he has to actually get a picture of the guy that his target, because he's not superhuman.
Yeah.
Right? The Slovakian Prime Minister Epstein showed the pair had exchanged emails talking about young women. Lajkak issued a statement denying any wrongdoing and condemning Epstein's crimes. And this is where we are losing these. I'm done with you. Because just like with Lutnick and all these other people, your lies are catching up with it. Without any real substance, but situation would not be used to attack the prime minister. It says, not because of having done anything criminal or unethical. Fico announced in a video message on Facebook on Saturday that he had accepted this resignation. So I don't have more information on what the email exchange said. So I can, you got to come out, because the more you try, the more it comes out about you afterwards, you're just hiding it.
Yeah.
You're just hiding it. And now nobody's going to trust you, and nobody should trust you. Right? Let me see if I can find out what, okay, here we go. What was in it, so I can kind of judge for myself.
So, there's Lisa Perna, Touched by Prayer. She says it's all coming out. The masks are coming off. Ick. Barry says, let's see. Sarah Ferguson was a plank when she divorced Andrew. She didn't stop or curb her spending, but her wealth dwindled fast. She was in with Epstein, obviously for money. She also promised a reporter called the fake chic access to Andrew for money after her divorce, and told her he had Arab connections to the Arabian princes.
Okay, so for this Lajak guy, Lajkak, who didn't have anything to do really with him, his name comes up 346 times. 346 times. In one exchange of phone messages, someone named Miro Lajkak appears to be joshing with an unnamed Epstein. Regards from Kiev, just to confirm that girls here are as gorgeous as ever. The same conversation contains the line, "I love Lavro." Remind Steve about the invitation to come to Slovakia and meet Fico. That's not really great. In another apparent email exchange, Lajkak appears to be asking the well-connected financier to help promote an acquaintance's film in the United States, with Epstein apparently forwarding the request to a well-known socialite and publicist who herself has fallen foul of the released files. So yes, these people and here's the thing. I think that having been a little bit in MAGA, I can really understand now. Epstein was also selling his connections, his network of connections. So, hey, I'll connect you over here, and then I'll connect you over here, right? So he's selling connections. So that's what the Slovakian guy, nope, not you. Let's go with the Indian people. They really like to, let's do this one right here.
Okay. Let me switch screens here. Hopefully everything stays. It's a little glitchy today, which I have good news. Abigail's dad reached out to me. We're hopefully going to get this whole system up and running a little bit better. So praise the Lord for that. So patience.
We are a little glitchy.
We are
getting
little
new
glitchy.
graphics
We are
cards
getting new graphics
from
cards.
Russia.
Now, we don't know where it's coming from. Okay, here we go. This is what I have. Now I've got the proper window up.
1, 2, 3.
One,
In the middle there. In the middle there.
3. Boom.
There is further fallout from the Epstein. Minister Keir Starmer says the disgraced former Prince Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor should testify before the US Congress about his links to the deceased child sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. His comments come in the wake of newly disclosed US government files on Epstein, which include thousands of videos, images and references to public figures, including the former British Prince and US President Donald Trump.
3 million pages, 2,000 videos and 180,000 pictures, mentioning people such as the US President, the then Prince Andrew, and Elon Musk. These are just a sample of what the enormous amount of new documents released by the Justice Department contain.
We did not protect President Trump. We didn't protect or not protect anybody.
The latest Epstein files were made public after they were withheld from an initial release in December. The new records include thousands of references to Donald Trump, including emails in which Epstein and others shared news articles about him, commented on his politics, or gossiped about him and his family. The then Prince Andrew's name appeared several hundred times, including in an email chain which the Prince invited Epstein to Buckingham Palace in 2010, the month after Epstein had been released from house arrest for procuring an underage girl for prostitution. There were also exchanges between Epstein and powerful businessmen, such as billionaire Elon Musk and Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates. The late Jeffrey Epstein and his relationships with the world's richest and most powerful people have been a source of intense intrigue for conspiracy theorists, online sleuths, and parts of Trump's MAGA base. But the man responsible for the latest release is not convinced this tranche will end the focus on the files.
There's a hunger or a thirst for information that I do not think will be satisfied by the review of these documents.
Blanche said the release marked the end of the process, but survivors of Epstein's crimes have said in a statement, this is not over.
Andrew Lowney is a journalist and the author of the book entitled The Rise and Fall of the House of York. I asked him how damaging this latest release is to the royal family.
Well, I think it's very damaging to Andrew and to Sarah Ferguson. I mean, I think this is really the nail in their coffin. I think it's an opportunity for the royal family. I think if they seize this and totally distance themselves from Andrew, I think are open about when they knew about the problems with Andrew and why they didn't do anything about it then I think public disquiet can be satisfied. But I think if there's a sense that Andrew continues to be able to be protected by the royal family, then I think this is going to cause them big problems. I understand that the FBI, for example, passed information to the Metropolitan Police, for example, several years ago that wasn't followed up, and that the royal family knew about many of these allegations some time ago and did nothing there. It seems to be that they only react once the story goes public.
Now, how damaging is this for the king?
Well, it makes the king look very weak. There's a big dispute about who has actually been responsible for driving Andrew out of Royal Lodge and out of public life. Some people say it's Prince William, who's kind of stiffened Charles's sinews. Others say it's entirely Charles. And my own feeling is that Charles is by character not someone who likes confrontation, and so he's kind of ducked this issue for a long time. I do think that it makes him appear weak. Andrew seems to be calling the shots. We had information last week that Andrew was refusing to move to Sandringham. It doesn't make the king look like he's in control.
Now, what's the fallout of all this on the two princesses, the daughters of Andrew, Beatrice and Eugenie?
Well, I mean, there's some public sympathy for the daughters, the sense that they are innocents in this. I myself don't believe that. I'll be writing about them in the updated paperback of my book. I think the king would be wise to distance himself from them as well.
Wow.
I think the deal was that they would... Because I think that they have also, like their parents, been capitalizing on their royal links to make money for themselves.
Now, Starmer has suggested that Andrew should testify in the US. Will that take the pressure off, you think?
No, I mean, Starmer has done this in the past and he's been totally ignored. I don't think Andrew is going to give evidence. It would only further incriminate him. He's refused consistently over many years to talk to anyone or to answer any of the allegations. So I think the only way that he can be held to account is if he is investigated and charged.
The royal commentator and author Andrew Lowney there. Thank you.
So that's super interesting to me. Okay, so he, you know, I think most of us would probably have thought the same thing. Like, oh, look at the daughters of Prince Andrew. They're probably innocent in this. And that commentator's like, no, they're all in on this to make money. Like the whole daggone family.
So play the next one. This is the Sarah Ferguson's weird, Just Marry Me.
Newly released U.S. Department of Justice documents are sending shockwaves through royal watchers tonight, revealing deeply personal emails exchanged between Sarah Ferguson, the former Duchess of York, and convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein months after his release from jail. According to the DOJ file cache made public Friday, Ferguson referred to Epstein as a legend and even wrote the line that is now dominating headlines, "Just marry me." The message dated January emotional support, calling him a spectacular and special friend. In another exchange from 2009 contained within the DOJ archive, she tells him, quote, "I can organize anything," after he inquired about arranging what appears to be a VIP London experience. The documents reference possible access to Buckingham Palace apartments, although the files themselves do not confirm whether any visit actually occurred, according to the material published in the government release. The cache also paints a picture of continued communication, even as Epstein's legal and reputational crisis escalated globally. Emails cited in the DOJ release show Epstein attempting to coordinate a public relations defense, including drafts of statements he hoped Ferguson would issue denying he was a pedophile. In correspondence with publicist Mike Citrick, included in the same document batch, Epstein discusses applying pressure to secure a public retraction. Ferguson's representatives have previously stated, according to archived media responses referenced in the file context, that certain emails were written under legal threat. Another layer of controversy involves references to Ferguson's daughters, Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie. A July 2010 message included in the DOJ materials shows Epstein asking if the young royals could greet an unnamed visitor while in London. Ferguson responds with travel details about both daughters. Royal analysts say the inclusion of family logistics in the exchange is likely to intensify scrutiny over boundaries maintained after Epstein's conviction, as highlighted by commentary surrounding the document release. The documents also reopen discussion about Epstein's broader ties to Andrew, Ferguson's former husband. Separate records within the same DOJ release reference continued social contact between Epstein and Andrew after the financier's release from custody. Former Prince Andrew has repeatedly denied wrongdoing and previously settled a civil sexual assault lawsuit without admitting liability. The renewed focus arrives as public debate over royal accountability resurfaces, driven by the scale and detail of the government's newly published archive. For Ferguson, the revelations risk reviving a chapter she publicly tried to close more than a decade ago.
This is obviously, it's more than embarrassing. This shows a level of relationships that these people had, that they felt like they were friends.
Yeah.
Jeffrey didn't have friends. He had Marks. But for all of these other people, they are making connections. They're feeling close to the guy, right? They're feeling like he is a friend of theirs. And that is what makes this so repulsive. Okay, let's go over here to the Sky News. What are the big revelations? We'll skip over some of the ones that we... Go ahead. You can go 1, 2, 5, I guess, on this.
Let's go straight to Washington for the latest on the big developing story tonight, the release of millions more Epstein files. Our US correspondent James Matthews is looking through the documents for us. And James, what have you uncovered so far?
Yeah, hi, Gillian. Quite a bit to go through. More than 3 million pages, 2,000 plus videos. And in terms of the number of images, more than 180,000. This was publication day by the Department of Justice, belatedly, of course. They all should have been out 6 weeks ago by law, but there's a lot in there. We have lifted some of the detail, and there are some familiar faces in there. Prince Andrew, or the man formerly known as Prince Andrew, gets a mention. So does Lord Peter Mandelson. Let me read you, Gillian, a few email exchanges, first of all between Prince Andrew and Jeffrey Epstein. Interesting for a number of reasons, one of which is the ease of access that Jeffrey Epstein appeared to have to Buckingham Palace. Let's go through just some of the emails. On the 11th of August in 2010, Epstein sent an email to former Prince Andrew, and he said this: "I have a friend who I think you might enjoy having dinner with. She'll be in London 20 to 24. And Andrew replied, "Of course, I'm in Geneva until morning of 22nd, but would be delighted to see her. Will she be bringing a message from you? Please give her my contact details to get in touch." He also wrote, "Great, any other information you might know about her that might be useful to know? Like, what have you told her about me? And have you given her my email as well?" Epstein replied, "She's 26, Russian, clever, beautiful, trustworthy, and yes, she has your email." Andrew replied, "That was quick. How are you? Good to be free?" And Epstein says, "Great to be free of many things." Now, Gillian, let me read you an email, and this is from Sarah Ferguson. Clearly, Epstein was a friend of the family. Sarah Ferguson, Andrew's ex-wife, of course.
This is a little more.
She wrote a letter, said this: "Thank you so much, Jeffrey. I had the best discussion with Target on Friday, and they want desperately the whole Mother's Army project. They also want to get behind my entire Sarah Ferguson brand, books, etc. Tommy Hilfiger wants to build my entire apparel, fragrance, etc. brand and sell it on QVC. NBC want my Mother's Army TV show. Ben Silverman wants it. So too does Ryan Seacrest. In just 1 week after your lunch, it seems the energy has lifted. I have never been more touched," she says, "by a friend's kindness than your compliment to me in front of my girls." And she finishes, "Thank you, Jeffrey, for being the brother I have always wished for."
Wow.
Lord Mandelson. Remember their association, nothing new in the fact that they had a friendship. Mandelson, a visitor to his island, of course, and also a contributor to that notorious Jeffrey Epstein birthday book. Well, there are more email discussions taking place between Mandelson and Epstein. Let me read you one or two. Jeffrey Epstein wrote to his accountant, send $2,000 per month to Ronaldo. Now, Ronaldo, it was the then partner of Lord Mandelson, now husband. The reply from the accountant to Epstein says this: Is this in addition to the 13K you wrote in previous email? Please confirm currency we are sending is US dollars. Will this occur on the 1st of every month? If so, should I start with April now or May? Please advise. Epstein responded saying, no, after rethinking, send $4,000 only. So that's discussion between Epstein and his accountant, and that essentially was Epstein channeling money to the then partner of Lord Mandelson at a time when Lord Mandelson was business secretary of Her Majesty's government. One thing on Epstein I would mention.
This guy, Lord Mandelson, he was a former UK ambassador to the United States, Labour counselor, Labour Party guy. He's obviously a Lord. Dude's working both sides. And he's getting, here's the thing. This, you would think, would be a crime. Why is Jeffrey Epstein sending a member of the UK government $4,000 a month?
Well, it was going to be 13.
It was going to be 13, yeah.
And he's like, nah, not that much.
There's a crime there somewhere, right?
Gillian, there is a psychological report, more than 80 pages, all of them completely redacted. There is a scrap of information, and it is this. Relates to a month before he died in jail, was deemed to have taken his own life. And it says, no significant mental health issues. Threat to self, low. And that was in July 2019. He took his own life a month later in August 2019. So that just gives you a flavour of some of what we're seeing in this latest tranche of files.
James, there are references to President Trump in these documents, aren't there?
There are, and it's early, Gillian, and yes, there are references. How concrete they are is debatable at this stage, so I won't go into too much detail. But yeah, he's mentioned. There is the mention of an FBI tip-off line, and his name is it's mentioned in conjunction with that. I'll say no more at this stage. I will say, or I will give you the White House response to that subject matter. They say this.
There is a very descriptive, disgusting reference to Trump. Please don't read it. This was, in my opinion, somebody planting something on Trump. Mm-hmm. And you can tell, and unfortunately, what these plants do is discredit the real stuff. Yeah. So there's no email exchange. There's no solid evidence. Okay. So whatever that was, please don't read it. It's repulsive and disgusting from somebody. It's not real. I can tell you right now, it's not real. And that's why this guy is like, we all know this isn't real. Even though we may hate Trump, we're not going to say this one because that would put us in a very bad light.
The subject matter, and it's going to take days for all of us to wade through it. I suppose chief among the questions is who's in Jeffrey Epstein's orbit? What was their association? Is there any suggestion that they are associated with criminal wrongdoing actively, or just by enabling him, perhaps through their silence? And that will be a question for many people. It will be a question for the President, Donald Trump.
Media move to do it on a Friday afternoon. And also another classic move. At the same time, Donald Trump went on his Truth Social.
Okay, we don't want to hear about Donald Trump because, like, he's not really in... He is part of this, but not to anything that's...
They want him to be a part of it. Everybody wants Trump to be a part of it. We've showcased on our program
what Trump is a part of.
What Trump is a part of, and it's still wrong. And if anybody should be ready to throw Trump under the bus, it would be Leah and I. Mm-hmm. Okay, but I don't think that he belongs in these files the way that the rest of the world wants him to be there. Mm-hmm. It's just not there. So like, who cares?
He has other things that you can discuss. And if you're going to muddy the waters from people who are in this orbit, he's not part of this per se. Now, I want to play a little bit of Mike Benz over here. This is from 4 months ago, but this gives us the why. The why. Why is he doing this? It's going to be, right, that one,
What just leaked online were about 100,000 emails from Ehud Barak's private email. These emails show that there was this joint relationship between Jeffrey Epstein, Ehud Barak, and Prince Andrew in the UK. Ehud Barak arranged a secret visit to Epstein's private island without security in 2014.
Why do you think that is?
Mario, can you think of a reason?
I'm hoping that there's something less sinister there. Maybe they're talking about some business. In the emails, they also talked about women.
Virginia Giuffre, for what it's worth, alleged that Ehud Barak had sexually assaulted her.
This is public information. I'm just shocked that this is not all over the news.
Epstein learned the magic of having young, attractive women around as a way to juice deals. But you know, if you go in on a deal with Epstein, you are going to get invited to these parties, and you're going to have, again, the opportunity to access things that money can't buy. When you look at the scale of people in Epstein's network, and not a single one has come forward and said, I was blackmailed. Someone had to have been keeping tabs in the intelligence sphere.
That's what I'm saying. This is so deep that nobody is coming forward even saying that they were blackmailed. They still think that they were like willing participants.
I highly recommend anyone listening, go back to part 1. It's so worth it. Because as I said in my tweet, so I drafted the tweet for the interview. And I said, like, you're just so good at doing this. And I praised you. I sent you a DM. I don't know if you saw it. Just praising you at how good you are articulating things and how deep you go into something when you focus on it.
Former Attorney General of the United States in the late 1960s, who would then himself also be arrested through as for his role in the Watergate.
But they did it for Robert Maxwell, which kind of reaffirms the theory that he had some sort of relationship with Mossad. And also to remind you, Mike, because people might be watching, so we talked about Leslie Wexner, the relationship there with that, the logistics company, and that relationship that was very, very shady, from the Iran-Contra to kind of bringing that head office to where Leslie Wexner's empire, what was the brand called? The company.
Oh, you're talking about the Limited Brands?
Yeah. So we talked about Yeah, we talked about that one. Just to remind you, we've covered that relationship at the end of the previous part 1. So that was, we kind of just finished that one, and we got into Robert Maxwell, which you just introduced us to. And so you're saying Robert Maxwell had a ceremony when he died. He died under mysterious circumstances. Who was the last person? I remember it was something fishy about the last person that saw Robert Maxwell. Do you know who that was? I can't remember. I remember hearing somewhere the last person that saw him was also a questionable person that was related. Also, maybe unrelated, maybe a coincidence. I'm not sure if you know this. Blinken's stepfather was Robert Maxwell's closest confidant and the last person to see him before death. Doesn't mean anything. I don't know if there's any dots to connect, but it's just, so Anthony Blinken's stepfather, Samuel Pissar, was Robert Maxwell's closest confidant, lawyer, and the last person to speak to him before his suspicious 1991 death. You probably know this. I don't know how deep you go into these
I've seen
things.
that reported as well. But this is, again, these high-level connections between the U.S., Israeli foreign policy establishment and how Epstein runs through both political aisle sides of that story, from the Republican Ronald Reagan network to the Democrat Tony Blinken, Barack Obama, Bill Clinton network. I brought up the Leslie Wexner side of this because just in this time period in the 1990s, there's a lot more going on there. I think that the aspects that we covered related, primarily to the Southern Air Transport scandal, where the CI proprietary airline was moved directly to Columbus, Ohio, to service the company that Jeffrey Epstein had durable power of attorney over. But Leslie Wexner was also involved in political affairs and U.S. foreign policy. He was a major donor to U.S. universities and to Israeli causes. And it was, by all accounts, how Jeffrey Epstein got the financial largesse that it's unclear the extent to which he had in the 1980s. Famously, the famous place in New York, for example, that Ehud Barak would visit dozens of times, and the largest single residence in New York City that Jeffrey Epstein held, he got through effectively a free transfer from Leslie Wexner. What's interesting as well is that before that, Jeffrey Epstein lived in New York City in another very, very large residence that was seized by the U.S. State Department from Iran. And so Jeffrey Epstein had Mario, I don't know that you and I could arrange something like this. Imagine having the U.S. State Department as your landlord, and your rent payments are going directly to the U.S. State Department because the State Department selected you to live in the residence seized from the government of Iran. And this, again, gets back to this kind of U.S., UK, Israeli, Saudi counter-Iran operations from the late 70s.
So who
80s.
who lived there? You're saying that's the place where Epstein lived?
Yes.
That was confiscated from Iran by the U.S. State Department?
Yes, yes. And then leased directly to Jeffrey Epstein in Jeffrey Epstein's name. This was reported. Everyone can Google this right now. I believe it was covered by the New York Post, several other outlets in the 1990s. You can just put in Epstein, State Department, Iran, New York.
The State Department once rented a townhouse seized from Iran to Jeffrey Epstein, then sued him for subletting it.
Jeffrey Epstein, like, I don't even need this thing.
His Upper East Side mansion has become notorious for its reportedly macabre interior decor.
It's just macabre.
But he has, let's see, used to live in a different Upper East Side's mansion only a few blocks away. It's a mansion that embroiled him in a dispute involving a lawyer for French Connection heroin ring suspects, the State Department, and Iran. Say the now forgotten case laid out in newspaper clips from the time and extensive court documents offers a glimpse into the strange facet of Epstein's life at the time. Beginning in 1992, Epstein rented a former Iranian government building that had been taken over by the State Department during the Iranian Revolution. He rented it at $15,000 a month, but things went sour when the government sued Epstein, alleging that he had at one point failed to pay rent on time and had violated the lease. So that's weird.
Could you imagine $15,000 a month back then? What is that? What would that even be?
This is just so weird.
That's
okay,
crazy.
We're going to play a little bit more of this and we're going to move on.
New York City residents. And there's a funny story with this as well, because Epstein then got embroiled in a fight and a lawsuit with the U.S. State Department because he violated for a full State Department, CIA, potentially even USAID review of U.S.-Israeli development activity. For example, there were these qualified opportunity zones that were being set up to encourage Arab investment in Israeli businesses during the Bill Clinton administration. Some of those businesses included businesses owned by Leslie Wexner. So
part of the
you would have, for example, a way to qualify for these discounts on tariffs and U.S. economic investment in Arab countries if they had allowed or moved money through various Israeli-owned or blessed companies, for example, in Egypt and in the Horn of Africa. And I have very serious questions as to whether or not, given you had Wexner Industries that were qualified were qualified businesses for those opportunity zones, whether Epstein served as a go-between, given that it was his own companies he had durable power of attorney over. Now, again, this is reaching back 30 years.
So if you don't remember, Les Wexner is Jewish, and he's part of the Jewish cabal with Woody Allen and a bunch of other big names in the media mogul like sphere who were promoting Zionism and Israeli causes. And so what Epstein essentially was doing was he wasn't just a go-between for, I think this is way bigger than we think. He wasn't just a go-between and a maker and a wheel and a dealer for the Israeli government. It was kind of like Israelis at large. Like, Israelis stand for Israelis. They just stand for each other. And this is kind of like this underlying thing. They have a really good way of like not saying things that shouldn't be said. Like Marianne Adelson, who was asked last week, can you tell, you have all this influence. Can you tell us how you have influence over the White House beyond the millions and millions that you give? And she says, I'm not going to answer that. So how is your influence had? Well, you pick a dirty guy like Epstein and you launder your influence through a guy like Epstein. And Epstein's the guy in the movie who says, I'll get it done. I'll get it done. You can have your hands clean. I will get it done.
So you got Epstein that is leasing a property from the State Department that was confiscated.
A little bit here.
Coalition partner dynamics in the Middle East. Immediately, as soon as Bill Clinton leaves office, as Epstein had met with the Bill Clinton White House 17 times at least during that period while Clinton was president. Jeffrey Epstein then is effectively Bill Clinton's air chauffeur as Bill Clinton does a Africa trip, visiting, I believe, 5 African countries, being flown around personally by Jeffrey Epstein on Jeffrey Epstein's jet. I believe there were other high-profile figures and celebrities who were part of that trip as well. But it's at that time, while Bill Clinton is effectively campaigning on impact investment and the need for development finance to flow into Africa, that Bill Clinton sets up the Clinton Foundation. Jeffrey Epstein, as I mentioned, his lawyers testify in court later that it was Jeffrey Epstein's idea. He was part of the founding crew that came up with the concept for the Clinton Foundation. And this was also echoed directly by Ghislaine Maxwell in her testimony to the Department of Justice.
Of course
it was. But the intelligence did not go with him. The Secret Service did not go with him to the island.
Well, first, Mario, who's going to report this? Ehud Barak is probably the #1 ally within Israel of the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party has an incredible amount of beef with Bibi Netanyahu and the Likud Party. It appeared that they were using U.S. aid funds to fund protests in front of Netanyahu's house and trying to work with the parts of the Israeli Ministry of Justice to try to advance the corruption trial against Netanyahu. Netanyahu was in an explosive war with the U.S. foreign policy establishment under Barack Obama.
Barak, not Netanyahu.
They were sleeping with girls that were above the age of 18, but they were obviously younger, and Epstein kind of used that to honeypot them and have something against them as leverage, either for his personal protection or for the intelligence. What are your thoughts?
My personal opinion as of now, and I could be swayed by evidence on either side of this, but my impression is that Epstein learned the magic of having young, attractive women around as a way to juice deals in the 1980s. Adnan Khashoggi was doing the very same thing in the 1980s. Adnan Khashoggi, who we talked about last time, was the world's richest arms dealer. By the way, it's worth noting that just last week it broke that a major Saudi arms dealer who's named in the Epstein files just purchased a string of D.C. hotels, including the D.C. Capitol Hilton. So it looks like the Saudi arms dealers are still there's so many of them that Epstein was working with. But in terms of the role of women in this, I don't think that Epstein, and I catch flack for this sometimes. This is not a defense of Epstein. This is simply how I see the arrangement working. I don't think Epstein would have directly tried to have blackmailed anyone in his circle about the women issue. I think that the moment Epstein does that to one person, he loses everyone.
That's true.
Word gets around. People tell their wives tell their girlfriends. They have to hire crisis PR response teams. Things leak out of there. If Jeffrey Epstein had tried to blackmail Bill Gates or Prince Andrew or one high-profile person, and it gets around that you can't trust Epstein to keep his mouth shut about this, and whatever you do on the island, if a tape leaks, that means everybody knows never to go to that island again. You lose the access. You lose the deal flow. You lose the power of the network the moment you corrupt that. Now, that's not to say that.
What if he never actually got to the stage where he needs to blackmail someone? What do you think is the possibility that he has all that, but he's never actually used it to his advantage? Or maybe he has back when he had to kind of twist the arm of Alex Acosta when he was being charged by those 40 witnesses. They had 40 witnesses against him. Is that a possibility as well? Because for me, it doesn't make sense on like why continue doing it after 2000 whatever 6 or 8 when he almost faced jail time. That's what I don't understand. I don't understand. Do you think people voluntarily went there and they knew they're underage girls, or it was just a coincidence, or what?
I think they knew it was a fun party where they've got a great chance to meet young, attractive women. If you are a 65-year-old, very high net worth individual, you're not going to meet a 20-year-old girl in a bar. You're going to get looked at like you're just another guy, or your clout doesn't speak for you, and you don't. I've seen this in the kind of. This is the sort of thing that's not particularly uncommon for rainmakers and deal makers to not at the scale that Epstein had. But again, I come back to Adnan Khashoggi, who was this deal maker, broker in the arms trade in the 1980s. And Adnan Khashoggi would show up to parties with 100 to 150 women who he would just essentially pass off on his friends and deal-making counterparts. And it was like something extra added to the deal and a reason to be in bed, so to speak, financially with Adnan Khashoggi, because he gives you a currency that money can't buy. There is, you know that you will be able to
so you can pause that.
have a good time.
I think that is really interesting, and we don't have time in this Sunday show to go deeply into the Israeli connection and to the this vast network. He just created a vast network of influence, and you can read from the email from Fergie that he got her something that she wanted. These deals, obviously, it didn't pan out as well as she had kind of hoped. But there was some access that he wanted to the British royal family, and Prince Andrew and Fergie was that. And
well, don't you remember? You may not remember this. I actually do remember around that time where there was a bunch of buzz around Fergie, and she was doing a lot of shows, and she did have clothing deals, and she was like on commercials, and there was a very brief period of time. It just didn't really take off. But I want to go back to what he said there because I think this is really important, and it really kind of sparked something in my head. Jeffrey Epstein didn't, and you all have experienced this in some way or another. It's not the fact that you need to use that as blackmail. It's not like you need to actually make the threat. That's not the point. The point is that he's just got it. And so it is better for you to be on the good side of Jeffrey Epstein than on the bad side.
Yeah, and I think Mike Benz's take on it is better than the idea that Epstein was garnering blackmail.
Yeah.
You've seen it in all the movies. It's not that these big kingpins are trying to blackmail you with the women around them. It's that they are using the women around them to give you something that you want, something that you can't buy. But
knowing that it makes them own you. Like they do own you without it. No words need to be exchanged.
You don't need to blackmail anybody.
You have become owned by that person.
I think that in the back of Epstein's mind is, if I go down, I'm going to take you guys with me.
But I think I think it's more subtle than that as a psychopath. It's not a matter of needing it for blackmail. It's about needing it just so that you can own that person's very will.
Yeah.
I was going to say soul, but I think will applies better. Meaning these people want to please you. These people want to make deals for you. These people want to pull strings for you because you own their will. They don't think that you're blackmailing them. They don't think you're pulling strings. They think that they are your friend and they want to do these things for you. But Jeffrey Epstein is fully aware that it's not that he's just making people want to do these things for him. He understands that when you take somebody beyond a normal level of depravity, and there is a normal level of depravity, when you take them beyond that normal level of depravity, you literally take a portion of their will, their soul, their mind, their emotions, and you put it in your pocket, and you can manipulate it as much as you want. And they will always be there to do what you're asking them to do.
Yeah. I mean, you look at Lex Wexner, and he was, his guy under him was gay. It was Jeffrey Epstein and the other guy who ran Abercrombie, right? And it seems like this Lord Mandelson guy was gay as well. And, he was given money from Epstein, and there's just a level, it's like deeper and deeper levels of depravity, of disgustingness, of perversion that you really don't, you don't want to admit to. And it's too hard for these people to admit to. Speaking of admitting to things, we're going to get back to the Princess of Norway in a minute. But I want to talk about this, the LA Olympics guy. The latest collection of government files released on Jeffrey Epstein include emails from 2003 between Casey Wasserman. He is the head of the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics Organizing Committee, and Epstein's one-time girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell. Among the exchanges include Wasserman telling Maxwell, "I think of you all the time. So what do I have to do to see you in a tight leather outfit?"
Okay, so sometimes my just like complete, you people, like, that's so
immature and stupid.
Tacky.
Yeah.
Like that line, like that is so like it's barf. There's no depth to these people. They have no depth whatsoever.
They have no depth. I just want you guys to see who this guy is. I'm going to close out some of these YouTube videos just so you have a visual of the guy running the Olympics here in a second. Oh, we did Slovakia. Where am I at here?
That's a Reuters.
That's the prime minister. Shoot.
These people have no shame. Like the shame is completely gone. They have no decorum. They don't. So for most of us building any kind of relationship, whether it's a friendship or a romantic relationship, there are levels that are normal for us to build to a closeness. And most of us enjoy that process of getting to know that person and building that closeness. These people don't do that at all. There's no fun for them in that. They literally jump straight to, I just met you, now let's talk dirty. You know what I mean?
That's
like,
gross.
it is. That's what they do.
Yeah, so this is a guy, but this was back in 2003, so it's been a minute, right? There's also an email exchange about massages and one in which Maxwell asked whether it will be foggy enough during an upcoming visit so that you can float naked down the beach and no one can see you unless they are close up.
Okay, wait, just pause. See again.
Vosterman says, or something like that.
This is like, I can't think of any person that would want to have an exchange like that with anyone.
So
That's
he
so cheesy.
says, I deeply regret my correspondence with Ghislaine Maxwell. It occurred long before the horrific crimes came to light. I never had a personal or business relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. As is well documented, I went on a humanitarian trip as part of a delegation with the Clinton Foundation in 2002 on the Epstein plane. I'm terribly sorry for having any association with any of them. Are you sorry about the how
Here's
about
the deal.
some of you come forward and talk about the stupidity in the emails? Like, you're not even,
that's what I'm getting at.
Float naked down. Like, what your relationship with this woman? I have friends, sir. At no time is being naked ever in my conversations with normal people, and normal people don't talk like that. So, sir, you're not a normal person, and you weren't a normal person in 2002. And you saying that you went on we're not buying your humanitarian thing with Epstein's plane and Clinton. And we're not buying that. You literally you're obviously a pervert. You're obviously a debased, and that's what we were talking about. Epstein and Ghislaine went with the people. And so what did they do?
They pull out your inner pervert.
So Ghislaine and Maxwell, or Ghislaine and Epstein, as through these emails, what we see is them pulling out the pervert in everybody.
Now, there is the base level. So we want to have the conspiratorial level, which exists, okay? But then there is the base level that I truly believe. It's not that I believe it. I know it's in the facts. Epstein and Ghislaine are like they're sex addicts. Okay. They are, they're the lowest. They are so depraved. Like it's everything. Okay. So example, I don't think I mentioned this to you the other day. So Uncle Jack had to go to the emergency room, and his nurse was a male. And clearly a homosexual, because when he told me about the person that he lived with, he said my partner, but you could tell. I mean, everything about this kid was flamboyant. He was nice. He seemed like a competent enough nurse. I didn't have any issues with that aspect. But the ER, the corner that we were in, is very tight, and the nurse's station was literally just like 8 feet away, like across the hall and kind of catty corner. And I kept hearing. There were at least 4 or 5 conversations that he was having with the female nurses, and they were all perverted. They were all sexual or about drinking and getting drunk. And like, you could tell my heart actually broke for this young man, because this is the level that he lives at, where you have to constantly be talking about perverted things, or you don't know how to get by, because at that point, you're so depraved that it's actually only a very, very tiny dopamine hit, but it's what you need to get through the day. You have to have it to get through the day. Like he couldn't make it. He would die, right? Crash if he wasn't constantly bringing up perverted things throughout the day. Now, the other nurses were putting up with it and going along with it. And I could tell that there was one that was especially kind of like enjoyed the banter. You all have had these people in your lives. I do not put up with this. But a lot of times it is homosexuals, but it's not. But here's the deal. Jeffrey Epstein didn't have to be a homosexual to be the lowest of low Alfred Kinsey pervert. Okay. So he and Ghislaine actually lived at that level of where it's everything in every conversation. For some people, it's curse words, right? They have to curse throughout the day all the time. Every other word is a curse word. For these people, it's every other word is perversion.
Okay.
They have to have it.
Exactly. Michelle, maybe you can bring up a better picture than this article has of the Norwegian princess here. Norway's crown princess, whose son is actually standing trial this week for rape, was drawn into a new controversy this week after newly unsealed U.S. documents revealed her unexpected friendship with Jeffrey Epstein. The crown princess Mette-Marit's name appears at least 1,000 times in the millions of new Epstein documents. Messages between the two published in Norwegian media date from 2011-2014, when she was already married to the future king of Norway. In one email, Mette-Marit asked Epstein if it was inappropriate for a mother to suggest two naked women carrying a surfboard for my 15-year-old's wallpaper.
Wait a minute, what?
Is it inappropriate, quote, for a mother, quote, to suggest two naked women carrying a surfboard for my 15-year-old's wallpaper?
Let's see this son. Let's see images of this son.
He's intense looking. He looks like a villain.
We've seen him. We've talked about him. Yeah.
Of every character. He's a villain of all the movies.
Yeah.
Like they picked that kid. He's a villain. He's a super villain. This mother was highly perverted.
Yeah.
And created a son who was highly perverted.
Yeah.
So she is now just kind of embarrassed, but taking no responsibility for the fact that her son is up on rape charges. Hey, lady, maybe you don't put naked women on your son's wallpaper at 15, or he might become a rapist. Okay? Because you're messing with his head. And the fact that you would even suggest your son be sexualized at 15, I'm wondering your relationship with your son.
That's kind of where my brain went.
Because you just crossed a line there. You made a sexual remark about your son. You wanted your son to be sexual. You're a pedophile. That's a pedophilic statement.
Yeah.
Okay, for your own son. That's an incestuous pedophilic statement. You're a sicko. I suggest the King of Norway to make her an ex. You know, to axe this marriage is what I was going to say. You got to distance yourself from these crazy people. And you know what? The people in Norway don't like her.
Yeah.
They think that she's wild and crazy already. They don't like her.
She looks so innocent.
Oh, doesn't she though?
Yeah.
Doesn't she though?
Like she just has this kind of air of just like
you wouldn't expect
you
it.
would never.
You know, she looks a lot like Erica Kirk.
Doesn't she though?
Yeah. Well, Erica Kirk's Swedish.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. In another, she told him he was very charming. When Epstein told her he was in Paris on a wife hunt, of course he was.
What?
In 2012, she replies saying the French capital is good for adultery.
Nuh-uh.
And that the Scandies are better wife material.
No.
The Scandinavians.
Oh my gosh.
So the French are good for adultery, but the Scandinavians are good for wives. Epstein had at that point already pled guilty in 2008 to soliciting a minor for prostitution. Files show she also stayed at his house in Florida.
Wait a minute.
For 4 days in 2013.
No.
Though he was not there at the time,
okay,
supposedly.
Okay.
So on Saturday, Mette-Marit addressed her, quote, embarrassing friendship with the disgraced financier. I showed the poor judgment and I deeply regret having any contact with the Epsteins. It is simply embarrassing. She's 52-year-old and said she was responsible for not having checked Epstein's background more closely.
I bet she
and
sounds
not understanding
American.
Quickly enough. Let me go with it. That was the kind of person he was.
Oh my God.
Yet in 2011, Mette-Marit wrote to Epstein that she had Googled him, adding, it didn't look good. Okay, here's the thing. ending the sentence with a smiling emoji.
Nuh-uh.
I'd have Googled you. It doesn't look good. But here's the thing. This woman is here's the thing. I think that most of these elites are sociopaths. She's a sociopath. She literally said, and she tells, when you come out and boldface lie to people, I did not know who he was. I did not know. I'm hanging out. Here's the thing. You know, I don't really stay at people's houses, but I'm going to know them just a little bit before I go and stay at their house. Even if it's you're not there. Okay? You showed a very intense, close relationship by asking about the naked women wallpaper with a stranger. You're the guy that you didn't know much about. You obviously knew he was perverted enough to answer your question on inappropriateness. And why are you telling... You obviously knew him well enough to say that the French capital is good for adultery when guess what? He's not even married. So this is really weird. According to the palace, Meet Merit had ceased contact with Epstein in 2014.
I quit.
Because she felt he was trying to use his relationship with the crown princess as leverage with other people. Oh, really? Now, yeah. I want to know the details of this.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously, he's not going to come up to you. You're married. He doesn't want anything from you.
It's probably
he
not...
wants something from Norway.
She probably did not come up with that. It was probably the Norwegian...
Smack. He just wants us, woman.
Right. Stop it.
Have you watched all the movies of people in all palaces ever? You're the weak link, girl. You're the weak link. Historian and royal expert Ole Jorgen, not going to say his whole name, it almost gives the impression that they were the close of friends. He noted, however, the broader context of the messages was unknown. A crown princess is never a private person. This shows, in any case, a lack of judgment, and that all the safety catches around her also failed. On Tuesday, her 29-year-old son, Marius Borg Holby, this is horrible, born from a relationship before her marriage with the crown prince, goes to trial. He's accused, I thought it was 28, 38 crimes, including rape of 4 women, as well as assault and drug offenses. He faces up to 16 years if found guilty. 4 rape charges and assault. And this woman's like, I'm just so embarrassed. That's all it is. Let's play this a little bit here. You can see her. I mean, this is a beautiful family, beautifully psycho family. And beautifully psycho.
Hang on, wait a minute.
Should be
right here?
Yeah.
Marius is not the innocent kid he once was anymore. In recent years, he has become best known for scandal after...
Hang on, we're having issues.
Scandal, making headlines across Norway with repeated arrests, wild parties, and brushes with the law. But this time, the consequences are far more serious. Marius faces 32 criminal charges and could spend up to 10 years in jail, a scandal that threatens to shake the royal family to its core. Even his mother seems unable to save him this time. How did it all come to this? What horrifying secrets about how he treated his ex-girlfriends are finally coming to light? Watch the full video to find out. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon to get notified. Raising Marius mostly on her own. Life was far from easy. She worked multiple jobs to make ends meet, including as a nightclub waitress. Mette-Marit had also lived a rebellious youth, partying often and experimenting with drugs. But everything changed when Marius was born. In the late 1990s, her life took a dramatic turn when she met Crown Prince Haakon at a music festival. Their connection was instant, but the relationship caused a storm of public scrutiny.
He looks a little
Mette-Marit
bit
was
clean,
not only a commoner with a complicated past, but also had a son. Many questioned whether a royal prince should be romantically involved with someone from such a background. Despite the criticism, their bond grew stronger. Haakon was convinced she was the love of his life, and he was undeterred by her past. He was even prepared to embrace the role of stepfather to Marius. Their relationship developed quickly, and by 2000, they publicly announced their engagement, shocking the entire nation. The people of Norway were not pleased. To many, Mette-Marie seemed like the complete opposite of what a crown princess should be. Some even pressured Crown Prince Haakon to give up his right to the throne because of her. But when Mette-Marie held a press conference condemning drug use and apologizing for aspects of her past, her honesty touched the nation, and slowly people began to accept her. When the wedding finally took place in August 2001 at Oslo Cathedral, the ceremony was both emotional and symbolic. Marius, just 4 years old at the time, stood proudly by his mother on the balcony of the royal palace, and she made it clear she was unashamed of him. For the young boy, the change was extraordinary. One day, he was the son of a single mother living an ordinary life. The next, he was inside the royal palace, surrounded by tradition, strict direction. He briefly studied in the U.S. before a James Bond-themed event at Michael's nightclub in Oslo. Around the same time, reports surfaced that he had hosted private parties at Skagum, the Crown Prince's residence, where drug use and the presence of criminal individuals were alleged. Things turned far more serious in 2024. Between August and November, Marius was arrested 3 times in just a few months. The first arrest came after an attack on his ex-girlfriend, Rebecca Helberg Arntzen, at her Oslo apartment, leaving her hospitalized with a concussion. According to Norwegian magazine Se Ahoy, police reportedly have recordings of him threatening to set fire and burn the girl's clothes and belongings during a phone call from Skagum Castle. Marius spent over 30 hours in police custody before being released. Weeks later, he was arrested again for violating a restraining order Arntzen had taken out against him, after he began calling and texting her constantly. Amid the scandal, another ex-girlfriend, Julianne Snekkestad, spoke out, claiming she had also suffered psychological and physical abuse at his hands. She said, "I have previously been subjected to psychological and physical violence by the person in question."
Okay, you get it. He's carrying on his mom's demons. Okay. And this is where Healing for the Fractured Soul, I hope to take it on Tuesday, is the demonic influence that happens through your family's past. And all these people that are connected to Jeffrey Epstein, not one of them, we're leaving to Norway, has come out and said, you know what? I met Jesus. I am a different person. I am repentant. Even with Howard Lutnick, who is Trump's treasury guy, he is just covering it up. Everybody's just covering. And the Christian aspect of this is there is a forgiveness that happens when you repent, but you tell the truth. And it doesn't mean that you have to air all of your dirty laundry, but it means that you feel remorse and guilt for the things that you've done. And these demons that this woman had, which she obviously had, and the people of Norway, as beautiful as she is, they didn't want her. They wanted somebody to be prim, to be proper, to be moral, to be upstanding. And if you don't have a radical transformation through Jesus, those demons and that life is going to continue to follow you. And it followed all the way through her son. It followed her through the rest of her life as she's meeting with Jeffrey Epstein. She could not, Michelle, put the perversion in the box.
So, small commercial break real quick. Shout out to Liberty Mel over on Facebook. If you guys are not following Liberty Action Network over on Facebook, please do that and sign up for Mel's emails. She doesn't send them that often, but when she does, they're really important. And then also I had pointed out Lisa Perna's in the chat, Touched by Prayer. Please go and follow her channel as well. You can literally just click on it and go and follow it. It's really important when we have people that are doing God's work out there that we are able to share our friends with you guys. So they're here in the chat. So there's Liberty Mel. She says, Antichrist is the absence of Christ. Lots of that going around. Very well said. So here's the rub of the whole thing for me. We've lived it. And I'm not trying to sit here and toot our own horn. It's not easy. Okay. It is not easy. But as soon as you find out that you have been hoodwinked by a criminal psychopath, the first thing that you need to do, or as soon as you can get your bearings about you, is to talk about it, to tell people about it, and to warn people about it. So there are people who we have spoken to about SK who know full well, and they have big voices. They have big voices, and they have had their own experiences with him, and they aren't saying a word. Some of them are your favorite people out there, like big favorite people, and they know how corrupt this person is. And they're not saying anything.
So exactly. They'll talk about Epstein all day, but when it hits close to your home.
Yeah. I don't want to get embroiled. I don't want my name dragged through the mud. Exactly. And so when it comes, here's the deal. It's fine for these people to go about their business and to do all the things that what goes on in let me rephrase that. What goes on in Hollywood and politics is 1,000% going on in the podcast world with all of the doctors, with all of the lawyers, with all of the, your favorite people, okay, that Leah and I know. They all are covering for the corruption of other people.
Their connections to people that they don't want to even deal with and they don't want to talk about.
But and then at the same time, they don't want to sever connections. They don't want to throw people under the bus. They don't want to say, you know what? And here's the deal. They don't want to say, I have questions about even. All right. And I was actually going to make a little post. I still might do this. Like, as far as pastors go, I've got 3. There might be more that I can think of. But right now, on the top of my head, 3 people that I can tell you that I would trust. Brian Shuttleworth, and he's not a big name. And Neil Peterson, and he's also not a big name. And Todd Coconato, as far as pastors go, because we're going to be talking about pastors.
Well, Todd doesn't say a lot of stuff that he needs to.
But Todd does know a lot of stuff that I think that he tries, but he doesn't say enough. I just mean as far as their own personal lives. I guess that's what I'm getting at.
Right.
Personal lives.
They actually care.
They actually, like, literally, I care about you.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus as far as them not calling people out. Okay. But I just want you guys to understand something, that it seems like such an easy thing when you're looking at this stuff from the outside. Like, of course, it would be easy to be, whoever and, say, well, I saw this happen. And because if you're like Elon Musk is in these files, right? You would think that as outspoken as Elon is, he would come out and just be like, listen, here's everything that I can possibly think of that I know with my association with Jeffrey Epstein. Like, why doesn't Elon Musk compile his own file of exchanges, text messages, interactions with people that he knew that were connected? Like, why doesn't Elon Musk come up with his own file and just release it?
Right.
That's what Leah and I did. We did 7 episodes on one dude. Okay. Compiling all of the things that we could do. None of these people are doing that.
That's because they're not led by Jesus.
Not only are they not led by Jesus, but if they come out and they're just like, well, yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm embarrassed. I shouldn't have done this. They're not sorry. They're not embarrassed of actually having done the things. They're just sorry that they're caught and they're afraid.
No remorse.
I don't even think that these people are as embarrassed as they are afraid that like criminal charges might be brought against them.
Yeah, that goes back to the former UK ambassador, Peter Mandelson. I just thought it was funny. There was a little bit more on him. It has also emerged that Epstein sent $75,000 directly to Mandelson, according to the files. He's a longtime Labor Party figure who was fired from the role over his ties to Epstein in September of 2025. And then in the Epstein files, you don't have to see this, but he's just standing in his underwear with a shirt on. And I just wonder how did that picture get in the Epstein files? How does that? And then a $25,000 payment was sent to an account belonging to his, quote, husband.
I can't with these people.
Okay. And this is, just so gross. Everything is so gross about these people. Who else are we outing today? Anybody? Let me see. I might be done.
Did you hit on the we talked about the
we gotta go to Robert,
the Virgin Mobile guy.
Okay, so over here is the Daily Mail. Richard Branson, he's been in the Epstein files before, but what's this new thing is he told Epstein to bring his harem next time they met. He also gave Jeffrey a PR advice of procuring a minor. This is very, very, very disturbing to me. If you Google Richard Branson brands, he's just huge. So he told Jeffrey Epstein to bring his harem the next time they met while giving the pedophile public relations advice after he was convicted. In a 2013 email exchange released as part, he planned on showcases a warm relationship between the pair as they plan their next meetup. He's a British billionaire who strenuously denies any wrongdoing, reminisced about meeting Epstein before offering him public relations thoughts. In the email, it was September 11, 2013, the Virgin Group founder wrote, "It was really nice to meet you. Nice to see you yesterday. The boys in water sports can't stop speaking about it. Anytime you're in the area, we would love to see you, as long as you bring your harem." Now, his spokesperson say that all he meant was his adults. He meant, I don't know.
What adult females?
Maxwell and
what
somebody.
adult female harem did he have?
No, he just meant his friends. He didn't mean an actual harem.
He meant his harem.
Yeah, he did. Soliciting procuring a person under the age of 18 appears to suggest Microsoft founder Bill Gates was willing to vouch for Epstein as a brilliant advisor, something he denies. Mr. Branson also gave Epstein advice about avoiding scrutiny for his conviction, which the Virgin founder says he was told by Epstein related to a consensual encounter with an individual 1 day shy of 18.
Oh my gosh.
He wrote, "I think if Bill Gates was willing to say that you've been a brilliant advisor to him, that you slipped up many years ago sleeping with a 17-and-a-half-year-old woman and were punished for it, and you've more than learnt your lesson and have done nothing that's against the law, and that, yes, as a single man, you seem to have a penchant for women." He wants Bill Gates to vow for him. Bill Gates is so in this trap that Richard Branson wants to. But there's nothing wrong with that. Anyway, something along those lines. There's nothing wrong with being single and I just love women. And I just messed up. Was a 17-and-a-half-year-old. That's not what happens. He's teaching him to lie. That's not what happened, by the way.
17-and-a-half is a child.
Here's the thing. She was in 17. He's making it up.
Oh, okay.
He's making it up.
Okay.
He's making it up. Let's see. If there's anything else on this. Mr. Branson and Epstein were known to have a relationship, and the late pedophile even displayed a framed photo of Branson, as well as other celebrities on his mantelpiece.
Stop it.
In the New York townhouse. Photographs of the men who owned nearby Caribbean islands posing and smiling together were released in an earlier tranche of Epstein files. Okay. I don't even have words for this. I don't even have any more words for this. It's just so gross. It's just so gross. I don't even know. All right. Ex-Israeli Prime Minister stayed repeatedly at Epstein apartment, new files show. So the new files indicate that Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak and his wife stayed several times at a New York apartment owned by Epstein. The documents to close it. Let's see. Earlier, the department released Barak has said he first met Epstein in 2003 and continued to maintain contact with him even after Epstein became a registered sex offender. Email correspondence from May of 2017 showed Perel informing Epstein that she and Barak would temporarily leave the apartment while traveling to Harvard University and requesting that cleaning be arranged. His assistant coordinating practical arrangements related to the apartment, cable TV, and other things like that. The correspondence also indicates regular communication between Epstein, Groff, and Perel concerning the Barak's travel plans to New York and meetings involving Epstein. Barak has previously confirmed knowing Epstein, but has repeatedly said he never witnessed any illegal activity. Of course. So there's a huge web of lies, intrigue. And then there's another angle, which is interesting to me, in which Epstein had a role in Bitcoin, which was interesting. I'll have to get into that another time.
Let's play this video?
Yeah, go ahead.
In the largest batch of Epstein files released so far, the U.S. Department of Justice has made public some 3 million pages, including documents.
Sorry, we're glitchy today, guys. I'm going to get it fixed soon.
Is Howard Lutnick, a billionaire businessman who currently serves as the U.S. Commerce Secretary. According to the released documents, Lutnick had planned a trip to Epstein's private island of Little St. James in 2012. The visit has not been previously disclosed by Lutnick. Interestingly, in an interview last year, Lutnick had claimed that around 2005, he and his wife had been so revolted by Epstein that they decided to not associate with him again. But the latest documents contradict Lutnick's claims and show that they had remained in touch. The newly released documents further show that in 2017, Epstein had contributed to a charity dinner honoring Lutnick. And in 2018, the duo exchanged emails discussing construction plans. Another big name in the files is that of former British ambassador to the US, Peter Mandelson.
I wanted to play that on Lutnick because he is currently the Commerce Secretary. I think I said Treasury Secretary. Prominent people have been scrutinized for their visits to Jeffrey Epstein's island. Lutnick's visit had not been previously disclosed. This is what I'm saying. You're supposed to tell people these things. Howard Lutnick, a billionaire businessman who serves as President Trump's Commerce Secretary, once planned a trip to Jeffrey Epstein's private island, according to documents that were released Friday. The planned visit was in 2012. And it came, records show Mr. Lutnick sent an email to Epstein saying he had a group of people, including his wife and children and another family who were visiting the Caribbean. He asked where Epstein was located and whether they could visit for a meal. Epstein replied through an assistant to give more information about the location of Little St. James. Prominent people who were, but Mr. Lutnick's planned visit had not been previously disclosed. Mr. Lutnick said he spent zero time with him. The document suggests the visit did occur. The gathering was set for December 23rd, 2012. A day later, an assistant to Mr. Epstein forwarded Mr. Lutnick a message from Mr. Epstein saying, "Nice seeing you. Nice seeing you. Nice seeing you." So he's lying about seeing Epstein there. In a podcast interview last year, Mr. Lutnick claimed that around 2005, he and his wife had been so revolted by Mr. Epstein that they decided not to associate with him ever again.
Revolted, or maybe they got their feelings hurt or scared. I don't think that revolted is the right word.
I know that revolted is not the right word, and I don't know if I have that video up or not because it is very weird.
There was one to the right of this one, or to the left, right over here. It says, "Remember when Howard Lutnick laughed as Trump?"
Yeah.
Is that it?
Well, no, there's a different one, but go ahead and play that
They're
one.
both very good.
Mr. President.
The two Kevin.
I got a screen share.
It's very good.
Mr. President, is Vice President Vance hosting a gathering this evening to talk about how to respond to the Epstein situation?
Is he working on what?
I can't screen share because it's frozen, so I'm so sorry, guys. Let me try opening another tab real quick and then see if we can get back over here so I can screen share.
But I think
He's done in the interview. Here he's laughing.
Okay, pause.
Okay.
Try and go back over here. There we go. Thank you, Jesus.
This is him laughing
about the Epstein files. 1 second.
And it's completely fake news. We're not meeting to talk about the
Doesn't want to play.
I know.
Well, we know why. Spiritually, even speaking.
Yeah, they're both very good.
Mr. President.
The two Kevins, it's very good.
Mr. President, is Vice President Vance hosting?
In a podcast interview last year, Mr. Lutnick claimed that around 2005, he said he wouldn't see him again.
Gathering this evening to talk about how to respond to the Epstein situation?
Is he working on what?
Is he hosting some kind of gathering?
Okay, this is not working.
Yeah.
You guys get the idea.
Mr. Lutnick said in an interview that Mr. Epstein invited them to tour his Upper East Side mansion next door to Mr. Lutnick's own home when they noticed a massage table in the middle of the room. And I don't know, I think if I click on this, yeah, you can click on that. You should have just stayed in screen share.
So is this the article? Because I can't get to it. It just keeps, I don't want to have to like log in and
see if you can do this.
I've refreshed it 3 times, so I don't know. I didn't do it without the ad blocker.
Right. Let's see. This
In
one,
the interview.
right?
Oh, hang on. I can pull it up from there now that you have it open.
Okay.
So just give me 1 second.
So this is the creepy interview with Lutnick where he says he never would have had anything to do with him again.
Wait, I need to actually see the Facebook link. Okay. There it is.
Okay. Documents show that Mr. Lutnick and Mr. Epstein's lives continue to overlap in more recent years. In 2017, Mr. Epstein contributed to a charity dinner honoring Mr. Lutnick. In 2018, they exchanged emails that appear to discuss them joining forces to battle construction plans at the Frick collection. This is just to show that he's a liar. Huge,
well
big
did
liar.
you know him?
I don't think I remember.
All right, so we are in number 11.
Hmm.
And he lives in number 9.
Right.
So we renovate, we buy our house, and our house is pigeons and mice.
Right.
Okay, that's it. It was derelict.
Right.
So we rebuild our house. We move
See
in
the
in
details in the story?
2005. Okay. Jeffrey Epstein is arrested in like 2008, I think, or something like that.
Right.
So
I don't think any of these videos are going to play today.
I know. So weird. It's you know what I think is hilarious? The day we're trying to do Jeffrey Epstein is the day we've not had issues like this in months.
I know, we haven't. You know what? Shut it down. We can be done talking about Jeffrey Epstein, but I will just read to you the transcript. They noticed the massage table in the middle. Mr. Lutnick recalled, Mr. Epstein explained that he received the right kind of massage every day. Mr. Lutnick said that he and his wife quickly left and decided to never be in the room with that person again. So I was never in the room with him socially for business or any philanthropy. He says, if that guy was there, I wasn't going because he's gross. Before they connected in December of 2012, an assistant to Mr. Epstein had reached out to Mr. Lutnick saying, Jeffrey requested I please pass along some phone numbers to you so the two of you can possibly get together. Mr. Lutnick planned the Caribbean excursion along with his wife, and he stayed at the island. This is a lie, and I wanted to show you guys what a liar looks like, but I can't play the stupid liar because it won't let me. It's actually an important understanding of people watching.
I wonder if that video is anywhere else. I feel like Facebook is kind of one of the worst places to try to watch.
Yeah, it is. It's hard.
Videos.
But he's a liar. And when you see a person giving all these details, like our house was pigeons and mice, and we moved in 2003 and we had it renovated. That's what another psychopath does. So this guy's a psychopath too. Psychopaths hang out with psychopaths. Narcissists hang out with narcissists. They find each other, they pick each other, and then they lie till they can't stop lying anymore. And that's when they're in jail. I think maybe in the future we might do the Israeli connection, but a little bit deeper into the Israeli connection. But raise your hand if you've had enough of Jeffrey Epstein. I've had enough of Jeffrey Epstein. There are other things happening in the world today.
Okay, let me go and read some comments here to see what you guys have to say about all of this. Liberty Mel says, what a mess. Judge them by their fruit. Be a fruit inspector. I love that. That's really good. Frederick just says, repent, be baptized, and be saved, which 100% on that, Frederick. Well said. Barry says, Beardy Branson, as the Brits call him, thanks to Clarkson, is also a bit of a wide boy who didn't do any good at school, but set up Virgin Records, a music store in London in the 1980s. He found he was good at selling stuff from school, then set up a music record shop and made quite a bit of money with it. Then Virgin Records turned into the Virgin Group. Thank you. That's a little bit of a backstory on the Virgin guy. And she's obviously anything but that. Heather says, right, but they'll let Michelle and Leah be dragged through the mud. Oh, you're so sweet. And that's okay. Let's see. Barry says, sorry, but as soon as drugs were mentioned, it kind of says it all. It's all I need to know about the Princess of Norway. Wicked Psych says, shaping world events and how it would be reported on, who would stay in power or not, what countries would be invaded, how things would be voted on from representatives and investments from those in the know. Much bigger story, in my opinion. The salacious stuff seems like a distraction. That's true. That's really well said.
Yeah, I do think there is a little bit of distraction here, but there also is some meat to the story because Thomas Massie is the one that really helped push these Epstein files through. Remember, Trump said that it was a nothing burger, that there was nothing there. It was a Democrat hoax, that good people would be hurt by these things coming out. And I believe that he was pressured by a Lutnick and other people that they shouldn't come out. They shouldn't come out. They shouldn't come out. They shouldn't come out. And when he said, when Kash Patel is looking at us straight in the eye, he goes, there's nothing there. There are no files. And then Pam Bondi's like, I have files. I'll let you know the files. And then she has to say there's nothing there. And then you have Dan Bongino saying there's nothing there. There's nothing there. Well, he's friends with Howard Lutnick, and they're all like lying. Why are they lying? And so we've been praying that God would expose these people. And now we have to pray that God will bring them down, bring them to a stop.
Come on.
Okay. So God, I just lift up this whole situation. It's not about a guy and sexual crimes even.
Come on.
And there are victims, but there are way more victims than just the girls in this situation. And that's what they want us to focus on. Jeffrey Epstein was running an influence campaign for a government, for powerful men in very powerful places. And it's not about just saying, oh, you did some perverted stuff here and there. No, they were running a huge crime network where they're not thinking about the rest of the world. They are just taking and taking and taking. And I ask, Father God, that you stop the takers, that you expose them, that you stop them in their tracks, that you turn it around.
Amen.
That you continue this exposure that you're doing of not just the perversion, but the financial things that people are doing and the governments that people are doing, trying to take over countries and just doing things to other people's lives that they have no right to do. This imperialism, this colonialism, the mindset that somebody else has something, then you should take it. You should take advantage of it. I rebuke it right now in Jesus' name. I ask you to bring all of these people down to their knees, to repent, to confess, and to make this world truly a better place. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. All right, over on YouTube, Gina says, I was born with a super duper keen discernment. It's difficult. It's a difficult life at times. Others don't get it and make you the bad person. Katie Cat says, I agree with you on that. This is from earlier. Some things do sound extreme, and both the left and the right want him out. I too have my huge criticism of Trump, but the focus is well beyond him. Mike Benz does really great work and digs deep. Let's see. And she says, that's how they snare the trap, through pure depravity. And that's very well said. That's exactly what they do. Let me check one more place. Buzzy says, ladies, where's Trump in all these Epstein files? So we didn't actually talk about that today. Again, it's kind of what
it was. There wasn't
about.
A lot that is concrete or anything in this particular tranche. And we did an episode where Trump is actually more connected to some actual real perverts. And I forget his name, who used to run the Look of the Year competition where Melania came from. Yeah. So Melania was basically trafficked to Trump in a way through a friend of his, which is so weird. And that there's that Melania movie out. So
yeah, it did come out.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to do a palate cleanser.
I'm ready for
And we're going to shift gears to our kind of positive world news, but that is really hard to get over. I get it.
Positivity.
That's really sad. It's really disgusting. It's really perverted. I saved you guys from a lot of the perversion, but it's heavy. It's heavy knowing that these elites, these powerful people, are all in a web of influence. And it's not just about the sexual perversion, this web of influence where they know people, they get things done for themselves and for each other that you and I can't get done. Okay. Influence buys influence. That's why Trump, unfortunately, when he came into this presidency, he put himself around those old people, the Howard Lutnicks, who are connected to Epstein's and all these billionaires. And it's gross. It's just, they're so gross.
This is my final thought on this, on the Jeffrey Epstein, influences and all that. I think that the influence was the name of the game. And I do think that it was that he was the arm of the Israeli government.
Yeah.
Trying to, because we know this is true. The Israeli government wants to have influence over every single person that has influence over anything in any government in the whole wide world or anything. Like they just want to have their hand in every pot.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And Leah and I aren't even the anti-Israel people.
No, it's
like we're not even that. Like this is just, we're middle of the road where that's concerned.
Yeah.
But I will call a spade a spade. Okay. But then rolls up Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, who both are sexually deviant and love little girls. Both of them. It could be little boys, the homosexuals, right? The Alfred Kinsey, this is world. A lot of it's little boys.
Right.
Okay. But this was his fetish.
Yeah.
His fetish was the massages. His fetish was the little girls. And so what did Jeffrey Epstein do? When something is your love language, you get that gift for somebody else. Jeffrey Epstein could have had little boys. Jeffrey Epstein could have had girls in their 20s and just paid them to be around. That's what historically, from the beginning of time, has been, okay? And guess what? It would have worked just as well. It would have worked just as well. The little girls come into play because that was Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine's thing. That's why. So it's not so much that Jeffrey Epstein had these girls around because he thought that that's what everybody else wanted. Jeffrey had them around because that's what he wanted, and he made you join in what he wanted. That's
gross, yeah.
Okay? And so it's about the power. It's about the control. The girls were just his fetish. That it like brought everybody else in on. This is what I like. Books are my love language. They're not mine. They're my best friends. Books are my love language. So what does she do? Every time a birthday or Christmas rolls around, we get books. Okay? Because she loves to get books. So I have learned to give her books. Same thing with these little girls. It's that simple.
I think that Howard Lutnick needs to step down. He's a liar.
Yeah.
He's a bold-faced liar, and he's Secretary of Commerce. And you're caught lying to the American people on something this important for you to say and straight face say that you thought he was disgusting and didn't want to have anything to do with him in 2005. And yet you took your family to his island.
Yeah.
You took your little girls to the island of somebody that you knew was actually convicted on soliciting a minor. You took your daughters there. You took your kids there. You took your wife there.
Liar.
And then you lied about it. And then you said, I've never been in his presence ever again. And his assistant says, Epstein said it was nice to hang out with you. Nice to see you. You can't, like, this guy, you know what? You're going to see more clips of him because he says all the America First stuff. Everybody around Trump now is done. They're all, and here's the thing. You know what they were given? They were given a line by Trump. You say anything about my friends and me and this Epstein stuff and you're out. This is the war. This is the MAGA war that's happening right now where we want to see the truth. We want to see people out. And yeah, we want to know what Mr. Lutnick was doing on the island with his 4 kids and his wife with Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah. And the fact that you know that massage tables are evil and wrong, and you know it, and you can say it with a straight face, and yet you partook in it, that's a sick level, dude. That's a sick level. You can say, well, I didn't know. Oh, blah, blah, blah. You're sick. You're sick. You're sick. And Trump and all these guys covering up all this stuff, you think that it's just a little bit of perversion, just the princess of Norway saying, should I put naked naked women on my son's walls? Like, you guys are all sick. And you need to be out there, and y'all need Jesus, and you need the conviction of the Holy Spirit, but you sure should not be leading any sort of countries, especially because you know you're depraved, because you say it's depraved. You know, and all these things, like I'm so sorry I was connected to this guy, blah, 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 blah. You're not sorry for your perversion, Mr. I'm running the Olympics in LA, but I want to see you in leather, Ghislaine. Like, you guys are all sick. Okay. This is not sick. This guy goes around making he will buy like a street vendor's stuff and then give them away. And this is just a beautiful story here.
So we have some wholesomeness here.
We're changing, yes, everything here.
Okay. I like it. If they play, they're going to play in the name of Jesus.
Well, when we come back, I'll shut down everything that doesn't need to be up.
Okay. I've been trying to do it as we go, but we'll see.
Well, there's a ton that can be shut.
Okay.
I don't have any money.
Oh, hang on.
You think possible maybe I could still get one donut?
Shoot.
Computer's struggling to keep up today, Epstein.
It's possible? Just one? Okay, thank you. I'm so sorry.
1, 2.
Whatever you pick.
3.
Really?
I gave you all my donuts.
No, you're sweet like chocolate. Why did you help me?
It's okay. Must help
He says it doesn't have any money.
It's okay. Must help each other.
Yeah.
I have something for you. I want to give you $500 US.
No.
For you. For you. For you. Because you're so nice, you help me.
Mother and father are dead.
Her mom and dad passed away last month.
Your mom and father are dead?
She works all day and night to pay the
Kerja
bills.
seharian.
I work from morning to night. It's still not enough.
Best friend.
You're my
She
best
called me her
friend.
best friend.
I love you.
I love you.
Thank you.
Stop it. Then we gave the donuts away for free.
Free donut for the kids. Beautiful smile. Thank you. For you, sweetheart. Oh. You get a donut. You get a donut. She gets a donut.
That's awesome. Says she never stopped smiling. Oh, that's awesome. That's wholesome.
Yes, that is wholesome. All right, Michelle, close out pretty much everything. Let's see. We're going to close out a bunch of stuff here, and hopefully that will help.
We're still screen sharing, though.
Oh, don't screen share then.
Okay.
I thought we were going to go back to the...
There you go.
There we go. All right. So
it still hasn't switched yet because it's still frozen.
We're just going to close out most. Okay, Isaac Newton has some lost papers.
What?
Isaac Newton has some lost papers.
And his search for God's divine plan.
Yes.
You know, I can close these out if you just tell me which ones to close.
I don't know until I get there.
Okay.
I got to make sure I know what I'm doing. Okay.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Few have had as profound an effect on modern scientific understanding as Sir Isaac Newton. Many people are familiar with the story of how a falling apple first inspired Newton to investigate the force that would come to scientific treatise, Mathematical Principles of Natural Philosophy. It is the same force that pulls a fruit to the ground that keeps the planets in orbit. While Newton undoubtedly possessed a keen sense of observation and an insatiable curiosity that enabled him to make some of the most influential mathematical and scientific discoveries in recorded history, his prolific notes and writings, especially the vast amount of manuscripts that went unpublished until hundreds of years after his death, reveal a more profound motivation. Newton wrote more, arguably significantly more, on theology than on scientific phenomenon. And Isaac Newton is mentioned a lot in the John Locke book that I have. According to those most familiar with the totality of his writings, he viewed the two not as distinctive pursuits, but as one unified quest to map out the divine order of the universe. Although Newton is justifiably renowned for his numerous astounding scientific contributions, what is less known about him is that he also was a devout Christian, a dedicated scriptural scholar, and one of the most preeminent theologians of his time. While his public scientific works blossomed in full view of the world, it was his private religious studies that served as the unseen roots, providing substance to those blooms. Because of his demonstrated mathematical prowess, in 1669, at the age of 26, Newton was appointed as the Lucasian Chair of Mathematics at the University of Cambridge. At the time, all Cambridge professors were required to take holy orders with the Church of England.
Oh, wow.
But Newton at first delayed and ultimately refused to take the oath. However, his refusal did not stem from his lack of faith or rejection of the Bible, but in fact, just the opposite. He believed the church had embraced certain misinterpretations of the Bible and that he could not in good conscience profess to believe. Newton was fluent in Latin and Greek, and it was his extensive studies of original scriptures that led him to reject certain tenets of the church, specifically actually those concerning the Trinity. Though he did not speak or write publicly about his disagreement with church doctrine, fearing that controversial theological arguments could inhibit or undermine his scientific research, his refusal to take the holy orders posed a serious threat to his earlier career. Fortunately, some of his fellow teachers petitioned the king on his behalf, and he was ultimately granted a special dispensation that exempted him from the oath requirement and allowed him to remain in his position at Cambridge. It was around this time that Newton began to record his theological research in notebooks, and this was no passing fancy for the great scientist, as throughout the remainder of his life he continued to write and revise his extensive theological notes and biblical interpretations. Many of his contemporaries were aware of his private work and considered him an authority on biblical theology. Newton corresponded extensively on matters of biblical interpretation with John Locke, John Mill, and at one point even the Archbishop of Canterbury, the senior bishop of the Church of England, and stated that Newton knew more about the Bible than any members of the clergy.
Wow.
Despite the fact that Newton never published the vast majority of his theological writings, he did publish during his life. What he did publish left little doubt as to his belief in the intelligent design of the universe. by a divine creator. Although Newton almost completely avoided the topic of theology in his most famous work, The Mathematical Principles of Natural Philosophy, when he published the second edition of the work in 1713, he included an addendum known as the General Scholium, around half of which is devoted to his theological conception of the universe. The supreme God is a being eternal, infinite, and absolutely perfect. And from his true dominion, it follows that the true God is a living, intelligent, and powerful being. He is not eternity and infinity, but eternal and infinite. He is not duration and space, but he endures and is present.
That's good.
By existing always and everywhere, he constitutes duration and space. So even during his lifetime, Newton's belief in a divine order and supreme creator was well known. What was not well known, though, was the vast extent of his scriptural scholarship and writing. His unpublished papers consisted of more than 6 million words, approximately 1/3 of which were devoted to scriptural study and theology. After Newton's death in 1727, thousands of pages of notes and unpublished writings were acquired by his closest living relatives. But out of concern that the papers would offend the church and damage his scientific reputation, the relatives kept them quiet. As a result, the majority of his papers remained hidden from the public view for nearly 150 years.
Get out.
In 1872, most of Newton's scientific and mathematical papers were donated to the University of Cambridge, where they were cataloged and made available to scholars. But the remainder of the papers, including those concerned with theology and biblical scholarship, remained private and were up for auction in 1936. The auction was not widely publicized and was generally overshadowed by other auctions occurring around the same time. It says that the auction was not widely publicized. However, shortly after the auction, 2 men set out to acquire different portions of Newton's lost papers. One of these men was the prominent economist and mathematician John Maynard Keynes, who focused primarily on acquiring Newton's notes on the subject of alchemy, of which there were many. The term alchemy connotes different things to different people, and while it is sometimes associated with occult magic, it is also considered to be influential in the development of modern chemistry. Even among Keynes and others who have studied Newton's lost writings on alchemy, there seems to be no clear consensus on what he was studying and why. The other man who aggressively set out to acquire Newton's lost papers was a Jewish scholar and linguist, Abraham Yehuda, who focused primarily on the acquisition of Newton's theological writings. Yehuda was a rabbinical philologist who taught and lectured at numerous prominent universities in Europe and around the world throughout the early decades of the 1900s, and he was also a collector of rare manuscripts. Although he was an accomplished linguist who studied the early writings of many cultures, his primary field of study was the philosophy of the Torah, the theology of the Torah, and he recognized Newton as someone who also had deep interest in accurately interpreting the symbolic language of the Old Testament. By the 1930s, Yehuda had acquired thousands of pages of Newton's manuscripts, with which he fled to London during World War II. As early as 1940, his acquaintance and fellow scholar, Albert Einstein, helped arrange for Yehuda and his wife to travel to New York, and later that summer, the 2 men met at Einstein's summer retreat in the Adirondacks, apparently to discuss Newton's lost papers that Yehuda had acquired because Epstein and Einstein, sorry, it's a mess in my head.
Einstein,
I know. It's hurting me. Epstein, Einstein. It's my brain is messed up with Epstein.
Think of a beer stein.
Right. Wrote to him later that year concerning the topic. Newton's writings on biblical subjects seemed to me especially interesting, Einstein wrote. Einstein. I got it. Because they provide deep insight into the characteristic, intellectual features, and working methods of this important man. The divine origin of the Bible is for Newton absolutely certain, a conviction that stands in curious contrast to the critical skepticism that characterizes his attitude towards the churches. In his letter,
Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein.
Also
say the first name first.
I know, Albert Einstein also lamented the fact that most of the preparatory works of Newton's physics writings had been lost or destroyed. But he was convinced that the theological works could provide valuable insight into Newton's thinking and methods. Although Yehuda never published or sold his collection of Newton's papers, he did write about them. And he was one of the first scholars to understand and note the importance of Newton's theology on his broader work. After his death in 1952, his wife donated the papers to the Jewish National and University Library at the Hebrew University in Jerusalem, and then they were made public. In the ensuing decades, many scholars and writers began to study and publish papers on Newton's theological writings. So the Mathematical Principles of Natural Philosophy, published in Latin in 1687, in which Newton formulated the laws of motion and universal gravitation, is perhaps the most influential scientific treatise ever composed. Not only for its insights into classical mechanics and the functioning of the physical world, but also for its advancements of scientific methods of inquiry, Newton made significant contributions to many fields. While his influence on the history of science is well known and undeniable, his prominence as a theologian has only come to full light recently, according to these lost papers. He wrote, "The most beautiful system of the sun, the planets, the comets, could only proceed from the counsel and dominion of an intelligent and powerful being."
That's awesome.
As scholars continue to study his lost papers, perhaps more insights into Newton's conception of the universe will be revealed. I just thought that was a really interesting article. It came from Zero Hedge. Newton is obviously, he was British, so that makes it our world news. But I think that in the concept of life and living, I saw a clip with Steve Bannon and Epstein talking about when Epstein believed that life began.
Oh,
and
wow.
Epstein said, and I don't want you to have to watch him, he just kept saying, I can't determine that. I can't determine that. Like, I don't have the mathematical ability to determine that. And Bannon pushed him on it. He's like, you make determinations about people and things all the time. You don't want to make a determination about when life begins. Because why would you? Like, he's a sycophant. He's a psychopath. Nothing about his sexual proclivities lead to life.
Yeah.
They only lead to death. They only lead to destruction. And here you have, on the complete opposite side, an Isaac Newton, who was the preeminent scientific mind of his day. And he realized that life proceeded from the God of the universe.
That's good.
And that's the most important thing. And if we're going to study Epstein or Einstein or anybody else, the most important thing is that everything we see, everything we touch, everything we partake in is the result of a divine creator who wants his creation to work and live according to the mechanics that he's created. So the philosophical angle of the Epstein situation is that these people are disordering the natural order that God has created for the world, like a wind-up thing, and for it to go. And God is looking at these people, and you are perverting, you're disordering the natural order of the creation around you. So your crimes are a crime against humanity. Your crimes are a twisting of the natural order of things. They're not just about the girls here or this here or this here. You and the Virgin Islands guys and all you people, when I take a step back, and it makes it not as just like, what do we do? You have now disordered creation in a way that God has to put it back.
Yeah.
So we have to get people and Christians on board to begin to ask God to undo this perversion and get us back into natural order, which is why I spend a lot of my show and a lot of our life talking about farming and different things like that, because the quickest way is to begin to love animals, love the earth, love the dirt, love the creation, and then you will begin to connect yourself to the creator, and you can begin to heal the planet. How can I heal the things Jeffrey Epstein did? You start by healing the planet where you're at. And then those things actually can be healed. They can be healed. We can heal all the disorderedness around the world with this Epstein stuff. I know it seems too big. I know I do never want to bring you guys a problem that can't be fixed, because then you go through the rest of the day and it's like, So Michelle,
let me read some comments real quick. Sherry says, I can't imagine always being around people that you can't trust. Wicked Psych says, I can't understand why the general public doesn't see what's going on behind the pervert and the blackmail angle that they determined would be the focus, shadowing what was going on behind that. Lisa from Touched by Prayer says, some things need to be called out. Very well said. Heather said, I hate the sexual talk. It makes my skin crawl. I don't laugh anymore to make those people comfortable because it's not funny. You ever been in those situations where somebody's being perverted and they want you to laugh at their perverted joke and you feel like you have to because you want to save them the embarrassment? Stop doing that. Wicked Psych says, shaping world events and how it would be reported on, who would stay in power or not, what countries would be invaded, how things would be voted on from representatives and investments for those. I think you mean in power there, but that last comment got cut off. Katie says, I love these videos of the streetwalker philanthropists. So sweet. Ballistic Mystic says, everything that the media says turns to coal. Very well said. All right.
Okay, some more commercial breaks. This is Martha Roberts, and she's a smallholder and a pig keeper in and who's gone rogue in Wales. You know this lady? You can close out. Barry, you know Martha Roberts? Is she your neighbor?
You think he knows everybody in Wales?
It's small. It's small. Like, it's definitely a small town.
It's not a town, it's a country.
You know, small town feel.
Oh my gosh. Hi. Oh my gosh.
Come to piggies.
Wait, the dog. The Labrador retriever.
Annie.
No, that's adorable.
I need little piggies running in my life.
She literally tells it mischief mode activated.
Come on, kiddos. Annie.
I'm sorry, I'm watching it again, but that's just
it was so fun. I've been watching that one. Okay, this happened in Russia. So in Russia, a driver lost control and the car went into the water. Several men climbed on a beam above the canal. This is snow on the ground to help rescue the child. The father actually continued in the car, but he was okay. I love this guy got down to his skivvies because he knew if you're going to go swimming in the water, you don't want a lot of clothes on.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
And that he's got his other guy's foot.
I'm sorry. They're just passing the child along. That is so great. Oh my gosh. I don't even know what is happening right now, but that was great. That was really good.
Okay, so these are some school kids in Orenburg, Russia. They've started a trend of randomly going to people's houses and singing on their video doorbell things. Yeah. They're called the Guerrilla Musicians.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good.
What in the world did I just watch?
Listen, if you're going to be a little mischievous, if you're going to go to people's toilet paper their houses, go and do a little a cappella.
But I didn't know where it was going with the do. I could not recognize the song by that.
Okay, this next one is super sad. Eva Vlundersbrook shared this. This is gut-wrenching. Now, hang on just a second. A 20-year-old victim of an attempted rape and murder.
Oh.
You're going to hear her. She storms out of a courtroom in tears. A Somali migrant, Mohammed, who was 26 years old, just gets 3.5 years in prison. Last May, this 20-year-old Dutch girl was attacked in Amsterdam's Wester Park by Mohammed H., who choked her for minutes, telling her, "You will die tonight. This is your last night," while he hit her and pulled her down and raped her. Thank God the police arrived in time to stop him. Despite Mohammed having 8+ criminal records, he got only 3.5 years in prison because, get ready, The court had doubt whether the chokehold was long enough or strong enough to kill the victim. In the video, you'll hear the victim respond to the judge in pure disbelief and despair, saying, "I can't do this. I was strangled for a very long time with force." This keeps on happening over and over again in Europe. Our legal systems protect the perpetrators, not the victims. These judges should face justice for their continuous portrayal of European girls getting assaulted and raped and murdered by the migrants. This judge is saying that he wasn't attempted manslaughter because he didn't believe that he choked her long or hard enough that he actually meant to kill her.
So I need to correct something. The way that Leah read that said that she was raped. It was an attempted rape, but also an attempted murder.
Right.
It wasn't an actual.
Vaststellen dat dat
We're unable to ascertain. Hang on. Let me turn the volume down here.
But you'll need to hear her cry in a second. The woman.
Okay. Well, we can
langdurig en zo stevig
so prolonged and so forceful
dat er een
that there was a
kans
considerable risk
dat u zou komen
that
te
you would
overlijden.
come to pass away.
Betekent dat
That means that she says, I can't do this.
Just let her read it. Just let them read it because you want to hear her. You want to hear her voice.
Okay.
Just let them read it.
Nou, dat vind ik heel naar.
Het is een goede stad, maar dat is niet waar. Ik kan het niet. Je bent gebeurd. Echt heel lang, heel hard.
Ja. Dat zeggen wij ook hoor.
Eigenlijk dat het ertoe komt dat de rechtbank zegt van poging
Essentially, it amounts to the court stating
doodslag.
attempted manslaughter.
Niet bewezen verklaard.
Not
Dat is
proven,
voor haar
declared.
echt
That
heel
is
zwaar
truly very
te
disappointing
teleurstellen.
for
Volgens de
her.
rechtbank waren de verklaringen
According
van
to
de
the
vrouw
court, the
wel
woman's statements were consistent,
gedetailleerd en dus
detailed, and
betrouwbaar.
therefore
Waarom kan de
reliable.
rechtbank dan niet komen
Why
tot de
then is the
conclusie dat
court
going to arrive at a verdict of attempted manslaughter?
What was missing? It has to be established that the
It has been
suspect.
established.
Oh, I thought she said it has to.
It
be.
has been.
Applied a neck hold. Only the court can assess the intensity and duration of that neck hold. Failure to establish is necessary to determine if there was a serious chance of her death. The defendant and the prosecution have 2 weeks to appeal. Wow.
So the judge's response when she says, I can't be here. He held me down and strangled me for a very long time. And he said, I concur. And she's like, you don't concur because you don't think that he was trying to murder me. He tried to murder this girl and is only getting 3.5 years in prison.
Well, and at this point, so here's the thing that doesn't make any sense about that. If they are believing her, if they're taking her statement that he says, I'm going to do this and you will die, as the court, here's the deal. You're held responsible for your words. If you are going to threaten to kill somebody, when that comes before a court of law, your own words incriminate you. And so if they believed her that he did the choking, if they believed her that he even said those things, he has incriminated himself as an attempted murderer.
He also has 8 other crimes. So as any minister of justice, you have to take into account, is this person likely to offend again?
Yeah.
So then this is what a judge is supposed to do. Okay. You may not be able to go against the extent of what the law allows, but you have to think to yourself, if I let this guy out, what is the likelihood of him doing this again, of him being a menace? So you have it on your shoulders now for the people that are going to be harmed, because if let's say he's convicted of attempted manslaughter and let's say he gets 30 or 40 years in prison, you're going to be able to sleep at night that guy, is going to come out and offend again and hurt somebody again. Like he's a psychopath. You have to put a psychopath away to the full extent that the law will allow you to put him away.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So I'm sorry that was another downer. We'll be praying at the end of the show. With everything going on in the world, I think it's an important time to do a timeline cleanse. Take some time away from looking at awful things. And here we go about the right way to learn about to lay a hedge. Okay. Mom, my friend Catherine is all about this. So what is a hedge? Tell me when you're laying a hedge, you're using actual growing plant material to create a fence.
So you just did.
Yeah. Okay.
I think I'm still, is this it? This
is it.
Okay.
We're currently on the Quantock Hills in Somerset, and I'm laying this mixed species hedgerow. It's primarily hawthorn, but there's several other species that run through it.
Paul Lamb is his name. That's cool. I wish this wasn't so pixelated. I'm sorry. It's the best we can do, guys.
After I left school at 16 and a short amount of time working on farms, I went into a woodland where I did an apprenticeship with an old woodsman, and hedge laying was one of the skills that I learned while I worked with him, and it was just something that had a particular appeal for me, and I always kept my hand in and tried to do as much as I could. And as time's gone on, hedge laying has become more popular again, and the workload has increased. I find myself getting busier and busier with hedge laying now as the years go on. The tools for hedge laying are quite simple and straightforward. I use a pruning saw, and the pruning saw will be used to clear out the hedge, take off any side branches that are growing off the main stems. And then the primary tool for hedge laying is the billhook. And this is a Yorkshire pattern billhook, and this will be used to pleach the stems, and that is to cut through the stem part way, about 4/5, and it can then be bent over and laid into the hedgerow. I also then have an axe, and the axe can be used also for pleaching, but I'll also use this to point stakes, and stakes will be used to support the laid pleachers. Finally, the binding will be put over the top. These are hazel rods that will be plaited between the stakes, and they will hold the pleachers and the hedge firmly in place while it's putting on regrowth and re-establishing. So the first stage of laying a hedge is to clear it out. You want to just leave the stems that you're going to work with and that are going to be laid in the hedgerow. So I'm going to cut out any horizontal branches, any dead wood, any bramble, anything that I don't want to use in the final build. So once the hedge has been cleared out and we can see what we've got to work with, the stems that have been left can be pleached. And pleaching involves cutting the stem 4/5 through. This will make it pliable enough, malleable enough to bend it over and add it into the hedgerow. The regrowth that will come from the stems will come from the cuts we've made, the pleaching cut at the base, but also all along the stem that has been laid diagonally, and this will thicken up the hedge. So once the stems have been pleached and laid into the hedgerow, there will be this piece of the stem that's stuck out from the pleaching cut, and this is known as the heel, and this needs to be removed, so I just use a pruning saw.
Oh wow, I never thought about having to cut that part off. I wonder why.
And this is where the majority of the regrowth will come from.
So it like doesn't choke out the regrowth?
So once the stems have been pleached and laid into the row, they still need supporting, and the way we do this is with stakes that can either be cut from the hedgerow or cut from the coppice. So these are hazel stakes, and depending on the style of hedge will depend on where the stakes go. In this case, this is a Midland hedge, and the stakes will be put in just to the field side of the laid stems. The field side being where the livestock would be kept, the face here being where the regrowth comes and thickens up the hedge. So the distance between the stakes will be from your elbow to your fingertips, and we just put those in by eye and get them in as straight a line as possible. Just checking the distance.
So this is what you do when you don't have Lowe's, Home Depot, or Hotwire.
Right.
You need a fence.
Yeah,
you need something that's going to last a long time, and you don't have the ability
them in by hand,
to go to a lumber yard. The rich people can do
with a mallet or a sledgehammer.
Wow.
This is what the average person can do.
So the final stage of laying the hedge. Now the pleachers have been cut, the stems laid, the stakes hammered home. We're going to weave hazel rods between them, and this will just hold everything in place and make sure the structure is firm. So we add a rod at every stake. It goes behind and then is rolled together with the last rod, and then it goes behind.
So he's only adding one per stake,
and
but
in
it
front
becomes
of the next stake.
A larger
and this
thing
locks the whole
because you're adding
structure
to
in
it.
place
So cool.
and aids with the stop proofing again until the hedgerow puts on new growth.
It aids with
and it'll be strong
with
enough to
making
support
it so that
itself.
The livestock don't
when they
bust
still
through.
get strong
So
again.
hedgerows have been part of the British landscape for thousands of years, and it's only been in the last century or so, and the intensification of agriculture, that we've lost so much of our hedgerows. But really they're so beneficial for wildlife. They provide perfect habitat for nesting birds, for small mammals, and of course invertebrates. The craft of hedge laying is what keeps a hedgerow not only stock-proof, but in such a fantastic condition for our wildlife. There is no other method for maintaining a hedgerow that will keep it thick and healthy.
I love it.
Although I'm going to say,
okay,
it's not going to work for pigs.
Oh, you don't think so? I think it obviously worked for their pigs.
I don't think it's going to work for pigs. I see it working for maybe goats, and pigs are really...
So speaking of gold and silver,
oh boy,
this guy made a find. This guy made a find.
Okay.
When it bleeps, it's bling. This is so cool. An Anglo-Saxon surprise in Wiltshire, in the ever exciting world of metal detecting, where one might typically unearth a rusty nail or a long lost bottle cap. Paul Gold struck gold quite literally during a rally in West Wiltshire.
Not going to clean it.
What
It's
started
solid
as a
gold.
rather hold on just a second. What started as a rather fruitless day turned into a discovery of a nationally significant Anglo-Saxon hoard, reminding us that beneath Britain's green and pleasant land, history occasionally pops up with a cheeky grin. The rally, organized by the 9th Regional Metal Detecting Group, had seen Gould, a relative newcomer to the hobby, armed with his trusty Vanquish 540, trudging through a field with little to show for it. Towards the end of the day, his detector let out a promising beep, leading him to a flat metal object that, upon closer inspection, revealed itself to be an intricately designed gold band from the 7th century AD. Not one to hog the glory, his detecting partner, Chris Phillips, wielding a manicore, soon unearthed the star of the show nearby, a stunning gold and garnet raven's head. One can only imagine the pair's wide-eyed astonishment. After all, it's not every day your hobby yields artifacts fit for a museum rather than a recycling bin. Archaeologists have dated these treasures to the Anglo-Saxon period around the 7th century, a time when ravens symbolized wisdom and warfare in the Norse and Germanic mythology. Adding a layer of intriguing symbolism to the find, the raven's head adorned with deep and red garnets for eyes and beak, and the gold band with its elaborate patterns are believed to be part of elite jewelry and perhaps a ceremonial object. This hoard is the first of its kind in its region, making it a bit like stumbling upon a Saxon version of buried treasure, minus the pirate. Expert hails it as a find of a lifetime.
We haven't cleaned it. We're not going to clean it. It's solid gold. It must weigh at least 2 ounces. This looks like a raven's head with a garnet eye. And the same the other side. Steve's called the landowner. He's doing the proper thing. We're stopping. But I got to say, some stuff I found.
Oh my days. It's wonderful, mate.
Fuck, it's unbelievable.
He's crying.
Sorry. Can't be, be emotional there.
That's the thing I've seen. Mate, that is insane. It's great.
Just fantastic. Thanks,
Mate,
Steve.
I can't believe I've seen it. Mate, that is insane.
They're all congratulating
fantastic.
him.
Okay, so
cool.
if you go down, you can see it all cleaned up.
Oh my gosh. So what's the stuff on the right?
And it's with the museum now.
Okay, so this is what they found.
Mm-hmm.
But what's this?
I'm not sure what that is.
Well, still.
So the one found the little thing.
Yeah.
And then the other one found the other one.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Who
That's
gets
fun.
the money for this?
I don't know. They said they had to contact the landowner.
I know.
So I've been following this guy, the King of the Marsh. He's a little bit weird to me, but he's been keeping cattle for a while. I think he's in. Gosh, I think that he's in. Where are you guys at? I think you're like in Sweden or something. But he keeps adding more and more cattle.
Time for a herd update. This is what I've been up to over the past few weeks while I was posting all those bodybuilding tweets. I have been integrating all these new calves into the herd one by one so that now I can take them all on grazing walks together, which is very important because we've already spent a small fortune on hay. And the first day was brutal. We let 3 of the calves follow the herd to the grazing walk, and they panicked and started running away in a random direction. And I think only cattle farmers can appreciate fully how bad a situation that is. Fortunately, we have a bit of experience in dealing with such situations already.
He's in Croatia.
Wife was such a hero. She took our son, put him on her shoulders, and tracked down the herd. And I found the calves, and I stopped them on a meadow. I kept them there until wife slowly brought the herd to them. And then they realized, okay, this is our herd now. We need to stay close to them. And since then, we've just been adding more calves one by one. And now they're all here. 19 head. And 5 of the females are pregnant.
Wow.
So our herd will be growing more and more as time goes on. And we're really thrilled about this, as we can feed many, many more cattle by grazing them around our area like this. Bye.
So this guy, he's been doing a good. He and his wife have a cool homestead. I wanted to play that. Let's see this one. I think the next one is. Let me see.
No.
No.
Got the same one. Whatever I have is.
I might skip this one. This might be the. No, okay, this is funny. Okay, this is an interesting way to live in Australia.
10-metre long shed. The Longhouse is an Australian architectural icon that looks more like a giant greenhouse than an award-winning home. The building is made up of a series of interconnected internal gardens. Would you want to live in a luxury 110-metre long shed? The Longhouse is an Australian architectural icon that looks more like a giant greenhouse than an award-winning home. The building is made up of a series of interconnected internal gardens, all dotted with little cubby houses as accommodation. There's one up here and another up there, which comprise 2 of the home's 5 bedrooms. It's all built with eco-friendly materials, and everywhere you look is swimming with earthy texture. The heart of the home is definitely the garden kitchen. The Longhouse holds high-end cooking classes here, where famous chefs whip up meals in the wood fire oven or the Portuguese grill. As the property contains a huge veggie garden, an orchard, as well as facilities for cattle, goats, pigs and chickens, your weeknight dinners will truly be farm to table. Moving towards the back, there's a sweet risen lounge room and yet another little cubby house. It even has a tiny pond filled with fish. And this is my favourite of the home's 4 bathrooms, which shows off the house's intricate and unique brickwork. Back here is a self-contained residential zone with its own kitchen, living room and fireplace, and this gorgeous dining room with picture windows. I could sit here looking at this view all day. Everything is drenched in baby blue, including 2 more bedrooms and a bathroom up above. So, what do you think? Would you want to live in a giant greenhouse like this? It's been featured on Grand Designs, won the Robin Boyd Award for Residential Architecture and Australian House of the Year. And it was also one of Australia's first certified passive houses. All this for under $7 million.
Oh,
you can check out the listing on Domain.
Cool 7 mil.
Cool 7 mil. But this Longhouse.
Okay, I think we're back. Let me make sure. Let me go over here.
We had a power surge.
We did have a power surge. Let me click resume here and see if this will work here. It might not. There it goes. Okay.
So, you know, Venezuela is going to offer a bunch of amnesty to its political prisoners. Venezuela is,
why is that
I think,
surprising?
some push by the United States. They have kindly, out of the generousness of their hearts.
Oh, sure.
And decided to push ahead with a general amnesty law that covers the whole period of political violence from 1999 into the present day. And it looks like it will take it up. The National Assembly will take it up with urgency. There are believed to be 700 inmates deemed political prisoners state or countrywide. And this may serve to heal the wounds left by the political confrontation fueled by violence and extremism. So now that Maduro's gone, maybe they can let some people go. We'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. Michelle, you said you had, I had something that I thought was funny.
Okay.
So you guys know Lukashenko from Belarus.
Yeah.
So he met with some young women, and he gave them some advice
Your hands are
on
freezing.
how to meet a guy.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, he did.
Hang on, I gotta find it. Nope. Yes. Okay.
You're not ready for this.
Okay.
This is so great. This is my advice, actually.
Is it really?
И другие молодые девушки, особенно и женщины в целом.
Oh, subtitles? Was there on mine?
No.
Okay.
Well, just
you
read it. What
play
does it say?
You just play it and watch their reactions.
Okay, but what is he telling them?
Young women and women in general, you all want to be beautiful. You put on all kinds of stuff on your face and you smear honey on yourselves in the steam room and so on. I get it. I know how it goes. Right? But the best beauty treatment is simple. Grab a shovel and clear some snow. Honestly, that's the best remedy. You'll stay young and fit and attractive to us men. I have to see more of these reactions.
There's dudes here. And she's agreeing. Go get your shovel. Leah. That lady's never picked up a shovel a day in her life. Leah. Okay, I think that's it. That's all you get.
Okay, that was funny to me. That was so funny. Okay.
Do we need all these YouTubes up?
No, I don't know, but don't close them down. Just go.
Okay.
Just close down that one.
Okay. We did this one.
Then close down Humanity Chad. Now, alert. A Chinese gold trading platform has just frozen $19 billion in assets. Thousands of investors can no longer withdraw their funds. The platform is offering, just play it, 20% compensation of the initial capital. The owner is asking for time and claiming he's been set up and trapped. Shenzhen police are refusing to accept complaints despite deposits being made across the country. This is the same size as the FTX fraud. And so the people wanted their
So wait a minute,
money.
is this paper gold?
No. So the scandal is where investors can't withdraw funds due to a liquidity crisis. Losses are estimated between 1.4 billion and 19 billion across sources. It's real. I think it's like he holds the physical for you or something. I don't know what's happening, but investors.
But does he really?
He doesn't have it. He does not have the money.
No. Okay, so this is important for us to hit on our gold and silver update. On Friday, gold dropped to $85. It can be very confusing because it was up. What did it actually hit? Do we remember the number that it actually hit?
I don't know. The highest?
Yeah.
It was like 120, I think.
That's what I thought. So if you're like Leah and I.
It's down $30, yeah.
When it hits that 120, if I could buy, I would, but I can't. That's beyond what I can do. I still think it's very undervalued. Now, Barry, we all know what you think. It's okay. You can leave them in the comments, but I'm not going to read them because I know what you think. Barry says it's going to crash. It's going to go back down to nothing. He's been dealing with silver his whole life. I think we're in a different time.
We've never had $34 trillion in American debt before.
Right. So the question now is, what is silver and gold? What are silver and gold going to do tomorrow? If you're watching this on Monday, this doesn't apply to you because you already know you're in the future. Congratulations. Okay. Right now, live at 20 till 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday, we don't know what it's going to do. I am going to tell you guys what I'm likely to do. Now, we don't have a lot of money right now. Okay. It's un poquito, small amounts. We're going to take a little bit. I'm probably going to buy some silver this weekend. Okay. Before tomorrow, because my gut says it crashed on Friday and it's going to rally tomorrow. That is not a prediction for you to do anything. Okay. I don't think that silver is going to keep going down. But what I told Leah, and you have to be okay with this yourself if you're going to get silver this weekend too. What I told Leah is I said, I am okay if I buy silver today at $85 and tomorrow it drops to $45. I would be fine with that. Like, I am okay mentally, emotionally, spiritually, whatever. First of all, that is not going to happen. But I'm not going to be upset. I'm not going to think like, man, I should have waited. I'm not going to kick myself. I'm going to do what I feel led by God to do. And this weekend, we are likely going to buy some silver.
The problem is that right now it's technically at like 78, but the silver companies, they don't update over the weekend.
Right.
Like, and this weekend they're not.
Right.
Like, they're not updating.
No, but you're going to be buying them at whatever price they're at.
So
Leah's saying that in Shanghai it's dropping.
I have a feeling from what I've been reading is that silver is probably going to hover for the next several months, and that you don't need to necessarily jump and rush. But I would think about it over like through April to be acquiring some metal. It usually is down in January, February, March, and April.
Mm-hmm.
And then just like last year, it started to like make its rise. And so if you're going to be buying metal this year, I was comfortable listening to a guy's, I guess I was kind of listening, and my spirit kind of confirms with that. And I don't want to be like prophetic about gold and silver, but I am trying to be wise about our decisions.
Yeah.
I don't like to ever do things panicky.
Right.
Like usually when I jump ahead, I am jumping ahead, and I don't need to be like, oh, let's save $1 or $2. Now, if the scenario is that gold goes to like 95 or 115 and then just stays there, and then it goes parabolic, and we didn't really get our silver in because those prices might be a little really too out of our range for a lot of us. That's why a lot of us buy silver, because it's easier to obtain than gold.
Well, and just as a reminder, I think most of you are in the same boat as we are. We're not talking to those of you that are going to drop 20 grand. Okay. None of our viewers, I don't think, are doing that right now. So what I'm talking about is very small amounts. And so when you're talking about really small amounts, Leah and I had this deep conversation. We're like, you know what? We're buying such a small amount that it really doesn't matter.
So yeah,
does that make sense?
Silver is so volatile that it's hard to know what to do. If you want to jump all in on something, things could go sideways at these prices. Okay. It's really easy, sub $50, to just be like, oh, this is part of my, Michelle and I said this, that's part of our savings plan, because you know what the great news about this stuff is?
Here's a silver.
It's here now, and it's not in your bank account.
And you're not going to spend it.
You can't spend, it's literally savings. So even at that, if you bought high, you're like, at least I am saving. So I am encouraging you to do with your savings, something that you're not going to touch it, but if you need the cash, you put your cash in, a different kind of savings. Gold is really hard to obtain right now for a lot of people, but it's way more steady. I don't see at all.
Hang on. Until the last 3 weeks, it was way more steady. We're talking jumps of $300. That's not steady. That's crazy.
Thousands. We doubled in a year.
mean, like within a month, within a couple of days, it'll rise and fall $300. That's not normal. That's not normal. So they're doing something. So I guess this is what I said to Leah, and I'll end with this. First of all, if you guys would like more information, please go to resistancechicks.com/God's Money and schedule a call with Zeng Enterprises. They're going to be able to talk to you guys about this stuff way better than Leah and I ever could do on a broadcast. That's step number one. However, we had some cash savings, like 15 years ago when we started doing silver. And we put some of it into silver, but we couldn't quite pull the trigger because we were in the brainwashed system that said you always need to have some cash money, right? So you save your cash money under your mattress, right? That's not where ours is, but so you save out some cash money. Now, Leah and I we're not in the big high roller savings. Okay. I'm talking about small amounts. However, we didn't put it all into precious metals. And after the big skyrocket, you kind of look at yourself and you kick yourself. If I had taken all of that cash money and put it into gold and silver, look where we'd be right now. Like, who really needs to keep on your cash money? And so some of you are in that camp and you're kicking yourself. Why did I feel that I needed to hang on to that cash money? This is what I would say to you. Please receive this as a word of encouragement. That's like saying anything that you're learning, that once you've reached a level of like, wow, I'm really competent in this, that you wish you knew in the beginning what you knew at the end, or, halfway through, or whatever it is. It's a process. So we started off and we could only do what little we could do, that our brains that had literally been trying to overcome decades of brainwashing, that cash is king and you always have to have cash, that takes time. So whatever you do, if you had the ability to get more gold and silver and you did not, please don't kick yourself. Whatever you do, don't. Give yourself grace.
JP Morgan, they are the ones that manipulate this market. And in case you didn't know, they came in with billions of dollars of shorts.
Yeah.
They sold at the very bottom their shorts. And that means that they bet, it was a gamble, that silver would go down.
Right.
And JP Morgan is saying that gold is probably going to half into $50 an ounce by later this year. If they're saying that, that means they'll probably make it happen, because because there's this thing called paper silver, and that controls the price of silver. I believe that they pumped and dumped. And I believe that they did a twofold thing. They probably sold they said that they were long physical silver and short paper silver, meaning they spent all year acquiring silver at artificially low prices. And then they dumped their paper shorts at just the right time. There's whole videos on this. And so I'm going to pray for wisdom on this, because I feel way more comfortable going all in at silver at 50. Like, whatever we have, if silver hits 50, whatever I have in savings just goes into silver. That's my comfort number. I'm not super comfortable at silver at 85, 90 with a large amount of savings, because I hear JP Morgan saying that they're going to crash it to $50 an ounce, because that's their goal. They control it. It's the reason why we do silver and gold is to be outside of their system. And so I don't want to play the game with their system. And I do want to buy silver and gold. I just don't know if now's the right time or not. Michelle wants to. I do want to, but I part of me still feels like it's like because I want to get on something quickly.
And you shouldn't ever do anything for that reason.
Because
ever.
I'm afraid that and here's the thing, my logic is going to say this. My logic is going to say that this is not the settling place of silver right now.
Barry says, Michelle, the world has gone through COVID, so the money markets pushed quantitative easing and flooded the markets with dollars and pounds. The governments are trying to get those notes out of the world, so they use precious metal markets to do this. They hype the price of the metals until they get the money to the level they want. Then after everyone has invested, they drop the price of the metal, which in turn gets the cash out of the system. That's a good point.
Yeah, that's true. So I'm going to pray about this on wisdom. I'm going to say if you do a weekly amount into silver, any amount is just by faith. You're doing that anyways. But I'm not saying that this is as Lynette always says, it's always a discount. It's always a discount. Do I believe that silver is eventually going to go to the 250 price? I do. 300? I do. So you wouldn't need to kick yourself if you bought it now.
Yeah. Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
It's just, could you get more?
Yeah.
And that's probably going to be the case, but not much. I don't think we're going down to $30, $40, $50. And I don't ever look at the outlooks of other banks. It doesn't, but I do feel like if they are telling you something, that's what they are shooting for. And so Bank of America has gold between 70 and like 100. So for this year, Which for this year, their outlook.
70?
70 and 100.
Gold.
No, silver.
You
sorry.
just said gold.
Sorry, silver.
Okay.
So they don't see silver going down below 70.
Yeah.
But JP Morgan sees it going down to 50.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason why it bothers me is that we like to get these silver eagles because they're easy to trade. They hold their value. And the premiums are so high.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really care if it's at 85. I just would rather it not be 95 or 100 because of the premiums.
Yeah.
Because I'm used to when we started, it was just a regular market and the premiums on these eagles sometimes would be like $1 or $2.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't much. But now everybody wants these eagles and it's like the disconnect between the physical market and the paper market is so big. Okay.
Right.
So.
Okay.
All right. Well, we're hitting on a 3-hour show and we're trying to get them under that. I'm going to save my Canadian guys here for next week. And Michelle, did you want to play something?
No, I don't need to play mine. We can save them for another time. It's not, I mean, they're just little Instagrams. I mean, they were palate cleansers. And so they take, unfortunately, because I didn't have time to bring them up ahead of time, they take me a minute to bring up. Let me see if there's anything that's like super, super fun that I wanted to stop. Nope. Here we go. Because I can't screen share this actual page. So I have to actually individually go get them and pull them. Wait a minute. This is so good. See, every time I see them now, I'm going to think, oh, I need to pull this one up.
Right click and open up another window?
No, it's not how that works. It's so annoying. And then I have to do this and I have to do this and then I have to do this. And so we'll do one. I can't sit here and do it with all of the ones that I've sent to Leah this week. This dog has decided to be just too drunk. And notice the tongue. Watch the tongue. This is Alaska. There's other snow type dogs here. And lick. Just gonna lick while I'm being tough. Yep. Mm-hmm. Just like
Flipping it back.
Having the time of her life. Yeah.
I think I'm done. Oh my gosh, that was so
funny. I know. So that was one of them. Let me see if there's any others that I felt like were more. Sometimes I try to save my world news type. Oh, this was good, actually. I did appreciate this one. Hang on. This girl has never seen snow before. And she was staying, you'll see it, with a friend. And she gets to see snow for the very first time. She comes out. This is from the big snow.
Oh my God, it's so pretty.
This is my assistant, Megan, seeing snow for the first time. She says I'm shaking. She's going out barefoot in the snow. She's clearly never been to snow before.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Why are you doing this?
Oh my God. I've never. Oh, it's fluffy.
Look at her head. Her face is red. Like she is so overcome with emotion. Look how red her face is. And she's turned into a plum. That was it.
Oh wow.
That's really
That's fun.
You don't get to see that kind of thing every day.
You don't have to go to the main. We'll just do a couple. This is Barry sharing me with the some Highland cows. Wait, no, is that that one? I think Scottish Highland calf placed in the snow. It's Hamish's
first time in the snow. What a cutie. Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Oh wow, he's just going, huh? Hamish likes it. Love it. Okay,
that was fun.
We got another one with the Highland cows. Coming out. Yes, Lord.
Sorry. Oh, that's so fun.
Wow.
I love it. Is that it?
Yeah, Barry, I'm going to actually share. You've got a couple things that you share with me, but I'm going to save them for next week so we can get on with it.
So, I had told my dear friend, Bob Denny, do you guys remember when we were on the Brighteon network? Bob ran that whole thing. Like, and his daughter, we call her Cinderella, and their whole team. That's Mike Adams' network that we were on every Friday. And they were amazing. And so I texted them this week to check on them because they're in Tennessee. And Bob said that they live at the top of a mountain. They got 8 inches of snow, and then they got 3 inches of sleet. And he said they're
stuck at the top.
But he said they're okay and they have power. So in our conversation, he tells me that he said, I have found myself in the midst of something very interesting. Bob has been doing media for a pastor named Tim Macklin. Maybe if you guys still watch Fox News or News Nation or Newsmax or whatever, you may have seen him. Tim Macklin is the father-in-law of Renee Good, the woman that was shot and killed by ICE. And I texted him yesterday. We are going to get him on our show because revival has broken out. He runs a homeless shelter. And I told Bob that I was going to play some clips today, but we don't have time to do that. So I will save them for another time, maybe Friday or whatever, and we'll get you guys ready. I think that we're going to do a pre-record with him, not this Monday, but next Monday. And I think you guys will be very pleasantly surprised. But in the meantime, the reason why I want to bring this up is I want you guys to pray. Renee does have multiple children, but she had one that she had custody of. Tim is trying to get custody of this little boy. So please, I can't give any more details than that. But please keep that in your prayers. This is a very righteous man of God who loves people. And the best that I can say is not everything that you are associated with, you are associated with. But because he has found himself and he loved his daughter-in-law, and he did have very good things to say about her. But the fact that revival has broken out in his homeless shelter and amongst the homeless as a result of this entire thing. And he has been on CNN, he's been on Fox News, he's been on Newsmax, and he's just, out of all of this, he said, I just want people to come to Jesus from this. That is his heart's desire. So I want you guys to be praying for us as we, prepare for this interview, and also to be praying for Tim, because I can't imagine this young boy being raised by anybody better than his grandpa, who loves Jesus and loves revival and the power of God and just wants people to come to Jesus as a result of this. And in his interviews that I did watch, he essentially was just saying, like, listen, people make bad decisions all the time. And that's so true. And we all have made really, really bad decisions. And it doesn't mean that we can't have God get the glory out of that. So I wanted to tell you guys about that and just be in prayer for us with that. Liz says, I really need some wisdom on this. Been struggling with going in the silver direction. When you don't have a lot, it seems to be difficult. So here's what I would say to that. I can actually give you advice on that. I do not have a problem giving you advice on this. Buy one. Just buy one. Just buy one silver dollar and then see what the Holy Spirit tells you to do. Like, that simple. Like, that's, and because what happens is you don't really know until you've done it. You can't really, because you're still stuck. Once you actually hold this in your hand, things change.
Everything, all of my conservative views on it have been proven false. So I say don't be conservative on it. I mean, obviously, when it's running super high, we all are kind of like, let's wait till you want to find the level. Let's wait till it levels out. I mean, every silver person that I know was like, well, this is weird. I'm not buying right now. This is weird. What are they doing? Right? Like, we just bought it 30 a year ago. What are you doing? However, I think that all eyes are looking at silver, and that the case has been made, and that it's kind of like cat's out of the bag.
Yeah.
And people are like, I think that's where I need to put my wealth. And this happened in 2022, and then silver dropped significant. It went up and then it dropped, and people were like, hey, you taught me to buy silver. I'm teaching you to buy silver because it's constitutional, because it's the right thing to do. I would like for people to start using it, to barter with it, to trade with it. At this point, I don't know if it's going to be worth tomorrow, what it's going to be worth tomorrow. We need it to be steady. Money is only as powerful, as steady as it's going to be, you know? So,
Deb says, when I got divorced, my ex said I could keep the bag of junk silver and didn't have to split it. Score. Deb, you're awesome. Sherry says, I didn't know what I was doing when I first bought silver, so I bought 2 proof coins. LOL. They are very pretty, though. So I actually like proof coins. I do. So what happened was yesterday, I didn't realize the last batch of silver that we had bought was 10 walking liberties. To give you an idea of the type of purchases that we make and the level, the size of purchases we make. It was 10 of these. It was 10 silver dollars. I don't know how much it was when we bought them. They were probably like $45 a coin, and they were still wrapped in their bubble bag in their little plastic sleeves. I don't like to keep them in the sleeves because when the air, I don't know if I have any down here that have been tarnished, when the air touches them, they will tarnish. This is actually not a real silver coin, I don't think. This is a Trump coin that somebody sent us. It might be, I'm not really sure. So anyway, I like to keep them in these plastic rounds. But the ones that I had bought are too big, so I have to put the little squishy in them. So I was doing that yesterday. And so then I was going and I was like, how much silver do we even have? Like, I don't even know, because we just buy it. And it just kind of like ends up. And so I was telling Lee, I was like, well, this is what we have. And so just kind of trying to make a decision for what we get, what we don't get. And I found that one of you guys, and I'm so sorry that I can't remember who does all this, and it like makes me feel really bad. Please feel free to email me and remind me. But one of you had sent us 2 1922 silver dollars, and somebody else had sent, or maybe the same person had sent like a 1902, and they are so cool, right? They look totally different. And so there is a collector's aspect to all of this. And you have to decide what you feel the most comfortable with. The pre-1933 gold and silver is more valuable. It has more value to it, not just from a scarcity and a rarity issue, but it's from before everything went kaput. So Sherry says tarnished silver is still silver. It is. Untarnished silver has a value. More of a value than the tarnished silver. It just does. Okay. Now, if you want to talk like when the poop hits the fan, scenario, that's different. So I kind of like to have both. I like to get my silver where it's not tarnished, just because I'm just that way. But everybody has to do their own. That's more of what I like. You gotta do what you feel led by God to do. But yes, 100% tarnished silver is still silver, Sherry. And so whether you're getting a silver round, like we have, I don't know who sent us this one, but this is one of the Australian koalas. This actually isn't a round per se. I think this is an actual like Australian coin, right? You know what I mean? So I don't know that that's actually called a round if you're getting another country's money. You know what I mean? The rounds are the see if I have one down here. Like this needs to be, I don't know who sent me this, and they need to put this in the thing. Remember the person that sent the Year of the Rabbit thing? This needs to go in one of the things because it's going to tarnish. As if it sits in here and the air touches it, it's already starting to tarnish. So I'll probably clean it before I put it in one of the airproof little containers. So anyway, that's our talk on gold and silver. I'm sorry. I just wanted to let you guys know weekends are always hit or miss. It could drop tomorrow or it could rise tomorrow. I don't think it's going to stay at 85. So what do you do?
There's
Pray
a
about
huge demand for the physical silver around the world.
Yes.
And the stuff we're looking at is the paper stuff coming uncoupled from the actual metal.
Backwardation.
People need the metal. It's needed as a metal. If the lowest premiums you can get is probably your best move.
Lowest premium. That's good. I like it. Okay, so last but not least, do you have one of my calendars?
I do.
Almanacs. I'm trying to retrain my brain because it's not just a calendar. So today is the very first day. Because it's February
you can open
2nd.
up your calendar and put in February today.
Open up your calendar.
Here we go.
Because why would you not start a calendar in February?
Why not?
You totally would want to start a calendar in February. So there's so much here that you guys can open up. Maybe you're like Michelle and you're like, I'm not going to open it up and look at it until the first day. if that's you, today's your day. You can open it up and you can read all this stuff. Our friend David, right here, in February, and his dog Charlie, which is his son, who comes to our house all the time. You guys see him in the videos. They are so excited about this. They've been giving it to their friends, which is so great. That it's super, super fun for me. But the first month is his Sugar Shack, and that's really, really exciting. So shop.resistancechicks.com. Use promo code LOVE2026. That's only for our live viewers. I'm going to put that available once I start our Valentine's Day sale in the next few days.
I want to read this. I wanted to make sure you see my thank you for the wonderful gift package you sent to me with my win in the drawing you had.
Hi, Kim.
The best part was the personalized card you included, and I absolutely love the body butter and deodorant. I didn't even know you had body butter. I had just ordered some that I always get offline, and I will not be getting my old kind anymore since trying yours. I have to admit, though, I do not know what the tooth powder is for yet. I have never heard of such a thing, but I'm interested in learning about it. Do you guys really make these products yourself? If so, that's awesome. Michelle, do you have a tooth powder? Okay.
So I want to show them. So
I just yesterday, we had run out of of most of our Remineralize Me and Remineralize Me tooth powders. So this is, you can smell the mint
through the thing
coming out of the Remineralize Me.
This is one of the whole mouth tooth cares powders. And that's the whole mouth tooth, or excuse me, that's the Remineralize Me Extra Mint tooth powder.
So we have the powders and the polish. The polishes just have some coconut in it.
Coconut oil.
Coconut oil in it gives you a little more of a squeaky clean. How do you use them? You use them like toothpaste. So if you've ever seen like any sort of like clay, or you've seen like maybe even flour get wet and it turns into a paste. So you just you can dip your toothbrush in it. It's like, these need to be like personalized just for you, each person in the house. I dip my toothbrush in it. Some people get their toothbrush wet. Michelle doesn't. I do. And I dip my toothbrush in there and I just brush my teeth, and you create a paste with the water and the powder, and it goes farther because you don't have any water in here that is normally in regular
these are brand new,
toothpaste.
just packaged, labeled, made yesterday.
Now the
they're
extra
like as fresh
mint
as fresh can be.
Is spearmint and peppermint. And they both have xylitol for a little bit of a squeaky clean, but it also has kind of a sweet flavor. And xylitol is really good for bacteria.
Bad for dogs.
I told Michelle, though, I am now, like, I go back and forth between them. Sometimes I need the mint. I need the mint. I need the mint. I like the powder, but I also like the polish. But this one does not have xylitol. It's
not sweet.
Okay, the whole mouth care tooth powder. But it's like, that one is the most exhilarating. Like, it's called Christmas in My Mouth. Michelle calls it Christmas in My Mouth. It's got cloves, cinnamon,
did a quality control last night.
Alma.
And she put it in her mouth and she went, woo!
You're going to feel the woo. It also does have some peppermint oil in it. It's going to make your mouth feel tingly and fun and clean. And so I encourage you all to ditch your toothpaste and get the tooth powder. It'll last a long time.
It will last a very long time. So those are available on shop.resistancechicks.com, made fresh. I know I told you guys that I was going to bring my anointing oils and pray over them. I haven't made them yet. So on our next show, Probably Healing for the Fractured Soul, we will bring them on, or maybe I'll just, once I get them made, I'll pray over them. But I was completely sold out of the Healing for the Souls. And so I still have to, that's literally on my list to do today, a bar none, anything else. That is what's happening. Last night I ended up having to do invoices, which was not fun. I know. And like totally, I said, my least favorite part of my whole job, which is taking care of animals, is actually billing people to do it. So we would probably do it for free if I didn't get around to billing people. But anyway, so I did that instead of making the Healing for the Soul. Speaking of Healing for the Soul, though, Healing for the Fractured Souls have become a really, really important part of Resistance Chicks. At some point, we're probably going to do a show on Todd White. But in the meantime, if you would like to watch something, you can just watch Mike Winger's. He's just really long. He's more long-winded than we are on some of this stuff. Okay. So shop.resistancechicks.com. Please use promo code LOVE2026. Healing for the Fractured Soul on Tuesday.
Amazing.
Stay tuned because we're going to be having guests on our show. We have Jeremy Sladen. We have Corey Gray, and now we have Tim Macklin, which is Renee Good's father-in-law. So we're going to have some extra fun shows coming up with more people than just our faces. So be on the lookout for that. And also be subscribed to our newsletter, which goes out whenever I get a chance. You can sign up for that by clicking Join the Resistance on resistancechicks.com. And I do send out occasionally when it's like a special show like that, I try to make sure that I send out an email for that. So you guys are amazing. Thank you guys so much for your prayers, for your support, for even just tuning in and sharing. Please go and share the little clips that Leah shared this weekend. Go and share them. Faith and Freedom TV, which we are streaming on almost every live show. That's Blessed to Teach's live network. They put together these awesome clips for us. And you guys are wanting like shareable clips, which we don't have time to make that often. And so there you go. They're like literally less than 60 seconds and they've taken those clips. So please go and share them and invite more people to come and join the resistance. All right. Remember, it's not just a conspiracy theory. If it's actually the truth, we love you. God loves you. God bless. And we will see you next time, which will be Tuesday right here on, I was going to say Healing for the Fractured Soul. Maybe that's just on my mind. ResistanceChicks.com. God bless. It's not going. It's not going to let me say goodbye.
Don't.